Like, subscribe and share fanfiction audiobook channel for more fun. Chapter 84. The final fight was silent. There is only the sound of weapons hitting each other. Now both the Revolutionary Army and the famous genin players have reached the end. It has been a bloody day of fighting in this bad weather, no one can hold on. The rain turned into a curtain of rain, and it was almost impossible to see the figures, and the two sides were engaged in the fiercest fight. The Revolutionary Army is fighting for their lives, while the enemy is attacking from all sides. As the last hundreds of people fell to the ground one by one, the situation became increasingly serious. Ho, ho! Yahiko carried Nagato on his back, panting heavily, and looked at the surrounding area where there were less than 50 people left, and forced himself to take a breath. I, Yahiko, made a wrong judgment. I'm sorry to everyone. If there is a next life. Before he finished speaking, someone in the Revolutionary Army grinned. Are all the people in the staff so arrogant? Hey, who knows, but I killed a lot today. Me too. These people don't know they are just dogs, they all seem to be in high positions. Tisk, they haven't met Mr. Wildfire, they don't know what our revolution is about. It will be sunny one day. I believe our efforts will not be in vain. Mad, if you try to pretend to be civilized again, I'll kick you to death, haha, let's just say, the revolution will win. The revolution will win. Everyone was excited, gritted their teeth, looked at each other, and made the final charge towards the enemy. The enemy is numb. People who don't know better think that their side is the trapped party. But the other party was obviously full of troubles, and some of them even helped each other to limp forward. But that kind of momentum, that kind of going forward without fear of anyone, makes them nervous. Their livers tremble. They have never seen this kind of mob, no, Revolutionary Army. Although I don't know what they mean by revolution, the number of people has been reduced to such an extent that they did not flee in defeat. They can also organize a charge, which is unique in history. But this does not mean that the enemy will be soft-hearted. On the contrary, they are already eager to try when they see the hope of victory. On the battlefield, the troops will generally be defeated when the battle damage reaches 130%. When it reaches 50%, the soldiers no longer obey orders to retreat. As for the Revolutionary Army, he will fight to the last man. Senju Hashirama, such a force actually exists. Even among family ninjas, there are still people with weak will who surrender after such a high proportion. Senju Tobirama, terror, strong will, this makes people more determined than family thoughts. Is it really because of the revolution? Sarutobi Hiruzen, I don't know much about revolutionary thought, but I didn't expect there to be such a powerful calendar area. Fourth Raikage, what are they thinking? They were just a bunch of refugees before, but now they have such a strong sense of fighting. Even the ninjas in the family unit are better than them. What on earth is going on? Jiraiya, family is a small interest group, and revolution is a belief that is fought for by countless people like them. The beliefs represented here are completely different. Revolution is the belief of unity. Uchiha Madara, hey, some families are prone to weak-willed people, but our Uchiha family is not. We are born to be united. Uchiha Itachi. Uchiha Sasuke. Uchiha Fugaku. Everyone looked at each other strangely. Senju Tobirama, in the face of the greater interests of the village, the small family can be given up. Sarutobi Hiruzen, teacher is right. Danzo. Family thinking and revolutionary thinking are two different ideas. The family mentality puts the family first and everything is for the benefit of the family. As long as it is beneficial to the family, you can do and maintain it. Even at the expense of the interests of the village and even the country. The idea of a revolutionary is to be fearless in the face of danger, to be loyal to one's beliefs, and to put life and death aside in order to save civilians from danger. It is the original intention and mission to seek the happiness of common people. These two are small and large. But there's more to the two than just size differences. There are very few people who can unite family thoughts. It is one-sided and has no lofty meaning. There is only profit, and asking for something in return is self-interest. The thoughts of revolutionaries can unite most people, are comprehensive, and their meaning is noble and sublime. There are interests, but this kind of interest is to benefit the most people without asking for anything in return. This is public interest. Family thought in the Sengoku era, the era of war and chaos, can effectively allow the family to survive and reproduce. But times have changed now. We have entered the era of the country, the era of one village and one country. The structure of the world has undergone obvious changes. In this case, family thinking appears weak, so a joint hidden village of families is formed. Only in this way can we remain competitive. But slowly, the village's thinking is changing, taking the initiative to downplay the family's thinking, and put the village first in everything. Not just Konoha, but other villages as well. This shows that the family model is slowly withdrawing from the stage of history. The Revolutionary Army's ideology has abandoned family-style development from the very beginning. As long as you join the Revolutionary Army and obey the leadership, you are a comrade. There is no family here, only comrades. It's the same for everyone. This kind of thinking and approach is more advanced than hidden village and spans hundreds of years of assimilation. Therefore, there is no doubt about the advanced nature of the Revolutionary Army. In the bloody forest, everyone was making the final blow. Hundreds of black shadows suddenly appeared behind the enemy, jumping and running toward them. Before he even got close, a shuttle of bullets was fired. Bang! 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 The bullets passed through the rain curtain and hit the enemy. The sudden surprise attack and the sudden fall of more than 30 ninjas made everyone's hearts skip a beat. The special operations team members who came to the rescue suddenly exploded when they saw the miserable scene inside. FK, hit me hard. Where are the grenades? Bring them out to the labor force, a special operations team member shouted with red eyes. They saw that there were less than 50 people in the encirclement, and they could barely stand by supporting each other. They saw the corpses of countless revolutionaries lying scattered inside. Some of them, even if they were dead, still had a piece of the enemy's flesh in their mouths. They saw that the color inside was red, and even such heavy rain could not wash it away. And there are broken arms and limbs everywhere, red and white things, broken bones and bloody foam can be seen everywhere. They can't imagine what is happening here. They just want to wipe out all these enemies and rescue the comrades inside. Ha ha ha, Xiaolin, you are finally here. If you had come a little later, I would have died heroically. The surrounded special forces team member saw the person coming and opened his only remaining eye and smiled. If something like this happens, let me tell you in advance. I am already prepared to die. If you insist on shaking me, I will deal with you when you get back, ha ha ha. If you haven't had your bed tiles for 3 days, your skin is itchy. Your eyes are still red now. You have no future at all. Let the labor and management hold it back, an old special operations team member shouted. 1. The eyes of these special operations team members who live together day and night turned red when they saw the person coming. Let others hold back their tears, but they don't realize that they are already full of tears. Yahiko had no time to sigh. Seeing this situation, he quickly said, "Cheer up. Cooperate inside and outside, blow them up. Roar." The special forces and the surviving regular Revolutionary Army troops roared loudly. Reinforcements are coming. It's still a special operations brigade. Everyone was shocked and followed Yahiko's command, roaring and rushing towards the enemy. On the other hand, the enemy was already dumbfounded. What's happening here? Why did so many revolutionary troops suddenly appear? This kind of horrible weather and muddy roads will freeze you to the point of freezing even if you are walking on it, let alone rushing. And now they are not just here. Everyone has a murderous look on their face, their eyes are red, and they want to eat themselves. Obey the daimyo's orders and fight to the death. A ninja under the daimyo turned pale when he saw the scene and hurriedly calmed down and shouted. Boom! The gunfire rang out, directly interrupting what he was about to say. He was shot directly in the forehead and fell straight down, dying with his eyes open. Maid, the name is just a bird, you still fight to the death, come on. I can't help it anymore. Xylan saw this kind of gibbering ninja, and shot him to death. Come on, everyone. Today, I'm going to let them know what a revolutionary army is, hand over. Roar. Originally there were more than 400 ninjas under the daimyo, but after Nagato's command, more than 200 people were left. Now, even if the number of people is lagging behind, it has not doubled, and the fighting power has exploded astonishingly. The original encirclement formation instantly turned into a counter-encirclement formation. This time it was finally the daimyo's men's turn to flee in all directions. Everyone was so frightened that their faces turned pale and they panicked and didn't choose their way out. Don't block the road, the daimyo's subordinates said hurriedly. Mad, these are a bunch of lunatics. I will never take on this kind of task of suppressing mobs again. This is really risking my life. FK, how could such a mob appear in this small and insignificant country like the country of rain? They don't understand. The country of rain has always been a lawless place for wanted criminals and defected ninjas, and the civilians here are being squeezed to death. Why is there suddenly such an unreasonable mob? There are so many inexplicably powerful weapons. They can't figure it out. But the Special Forces team doesn't care whether they can figure it out or not, now is the best chance to defeat the daimyo troops. Chapter 85. Groups of ninjas retreat towards the camp where the daimyo is. Because the employer cannot die. The employer died, and the money was completely lost. But when they rushed into the camp, they discovered that the daimyo had already run away. This made all of them turn blue with anger. The labor and management are working hard at the front, but when the situation turns bad, you run faster than a ninja. Go back to Daming Mansion. Go ask Tsuruta for money. It's unreasonable not to pay more this time. A ninja shouted angrily. Are you able to leave? Nagato woke up and looked at the many ninjas in the camp and said coldly. If you kill the revolutionary army and then run away, where will the prestige of the base area be placed? Prestige. The prestige of the base area. This is the realization of Nagato as the captain of the Special Operations Team. So many of the top soldiers in the base area were killed or injured in his hands, and all the comrades in the regular army, Jinping, were also killed or injured. How could he let these people go so easily? If he really leaves, he won't have to do this as the captain. Warriors who have been selected through layers of selection, warriors who have been tempered by steel are all bullshit. Kill! Nagato shouted and rushed over with everyone. Puff! 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 Blood flowed out along the grooves of the three-sided military thorns, and several transparent blood holes instantly appeared on the opponent's body. In this battle, the Special Operations Team members were filled with hatred and extremely fast. Every life is being harvested. Spread out, or no one will survive, the quick-thinking ninja roared loudly in the crowd. The existing revolutionary army only has more than 100 people, and only the 100 people who have just arrived for support have the ability to pursue. Everyone else is already injured, and it is impossible to continue in the short term. There are more than 200 people on my side. If we run separately, at least half of them can survive. This is hope, the hope of life. After hearing this, Nagato shouted coldly, speed up. Be more agile. Yes. After hearing this, everyone's faces showed a ferocious look. The battle changed from the previous siege to a pursuit under the rain, and everyone fled in the direction of Daming Mansion. This can't work. Yahiko became anxious as he looked at the ninja running around like a rabbit. Now we can only kill them quickly to prevent these people from escaping back. After all, our number is still too small. Kakuzu added in a cold voice. A ninja can be average in everything else, but stepping on water trees requires a grandmaster. Because these are the basics. After a long period of actual combat, these things will become commonplace for them. The pursuit continued until the sun slowly rose. Ichijing, who fled with the daimyo in advance, stood on the treetops and looked into the distance, feeling very happy in his heart. As a member of the Special Operations Brigade, he knows this unit very well. As soon as the reinforcements arrive, these drunkards who only know how to drink and play with women have only one way to escape. You still dare to resist? If you resist, let me see. Suddenly his eyes narrowed. A dark shadow appears faintly on the ground in the far west. Then a bright red flag appeared in front of us. Although that flash of red is still very small, it has already made Ichigo tremble. No way, this is a 50-year-old regular army? One Ichijing was frightened. Then he turned around and looked around again. Daming Mansion was not far away. I trembled in my heart, this is already the territory of the Daming. Is it possible that the Revolutionary Army is going to attack the Daming Mansion? Impossible, impossible, Rain Shinobi Village is still there, Rain Shinobi Village is not far from the Daming Mansion. That demigod can watch the nobles die, but the daimyo cannot die for him. 1. Thinking of this, I felt a little more at ease, and then I watched the approaching figure grow from small to large, and quickly jumped down from the treetop. Ichijing, we are almost at Daming Mansion. I will reward you generously when we get back. Tsuruta looked haggard, but he was in a very good mood. The counselor beside him also smiled apologetically. After all, Ichii ran back with Tsuruta on his back and himself with one hand, so he still had to give him some face. Ichii shook his head and said, Lord Daimyo, we are on our way now. On your way? Don't be in such a hurry. Don't worry, I will honor what I say. There are all the houses with beautiful women and money. Tsuruta thought that Ichii was suspicious and hurriedly reassured him. 1. Ichigo's mentality is about to explode. I really want to go up and give Tsuruta a kick. Am I rare for these things now? What I am worried about now is my life. Only when you are alive and safe can these things be useful to me. What's the use of all this if you lose your life? Ichii gritted his teeth and suppressed his anger, raised his hand and said solemnly, Lord Daimyo, the Revolutionary Army is not far from us now, on the west side. Both the Lord and the Counselor were frightened. You know, they ran all night continuously. They just rested for a short time. Ichii, are you mistaken? This is my territory. How dare they come in? Is there a kind of ninjutsu called genjutsu? Tsuruta can never believe that the Revolutionary Army will enter his territory. The long period of running and being frightened made him extremely depressed. Ichijing clenched his hands tightly, he really couldn't bear it anymore. Regarding illusion, I don't know better than you whether there is illusion or not. You're just here to tease me, Yuan. I don't dare to enter your territory yet, what do you think your name is? Compared with Mr. Wildfire, this famous name is like a piece of shit. Mr. Wildfire's talent and understanding are heaven-defying, but even so, I heard that his strength is that even Kakuzu Nagato Yahiko and several others together cannot beat him. This is really how people deserve to be compared to each other. Ichii took a few deep breaths and said in a deep voice, Lord Daimyo, the Revolutionary Army is really coming. Let's hide in the distance for a while. If it is really coming, why don't we leave again? He is really convinced. But seeing the pitiful look in the daimyo's eyes, he was even more helpless. I do not know how long it has been. Shouts came from a distance. We're here, hide it for me, it's this forest. Igarashi shouted while holding the map. After seeing the information from the signal corps, he immediately opened the top secret scroll, took a look, and quickly adjusted his route. The top secret scroll says, there are 100 special operations teams supporting Nagato. There should be no serious problems. You are now ordered to go to a forest in the daimyo territory immediately to intercept the fish that slipped through the net, annihilate the viable area. Following content will be opened after meeting Nagato's headquarters. Igarashi was in disbelief when he first saw this scroll. He didn't expect that Mr. Wildfire was even prepared for this. The original plan was to rush to the rescue of Black Bear Slope, but now it has changed, and the ambush location has been changed, all because of Yahiko's actions. Mr. Wildfire is really a god. Igarashi was hiding in the woods and admired, is this the decisive victory from thousands of miles away? But this is obviously nothing in Wildfire's eyes. Because he figured out Yahiko's character. I calculated that he might be greedy for credit, so I made additional plans. Ichijing on the hillside in the distance looked serious, but the daimyo and the counselor were so frightened that they could not stand up. Whispering, he retreats back. Yujing, he is really a revolutionary army. They really dare to enter my territory. Tsuruta said in shock. At this time, he doesn't have any majesty as a daimyo. Totally scared out of my wits by the revolutionary army. Ichijing nodded, let's go, it's no longer safe here. Go back to Damingfu? Yes, 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 the Damingfu revolutionary army does not dare to fight, absolutely do not dare to fight, because we have hands of the salamander. Daimyo Tsuruta said in surprise. Ichii asked doubtfully, can hands of the salamander stop the revolutionary army? At this time, the counselor touched his beard and said angrily, hands of the salamander is a demigod. And the Rain Shinobi village led by Hanzo is very powerful, even compared to the current revolutionary army. The most important point is that Hanzo has unparalleled appeal among the ninjas and pariahs in the land of Rain. Ichijing can't figure out these questions. Why is the kingdom of Rain so poor and backward? There is still a powerful Hanzo, and he also has high prestige. But these are not the issues he wants to consider now, so he takes the two of them and leaves quickly. Not long after, 3 or 4 black figures came running from a distance. It's not easy to finally get rid of these revolutionary troops. A ninja patted his chest happily and said. Who says it's not the case? I'm so sleepy right now, aren't they sleepy? It scared me to death, I almost thought I was going to die. The people who escaped shivered as they recalled the previous pursuit. No matter what, go back to Daming Mansion first, pay the reward, and leave directly. This country of Rain is too dangerous. Yes, I want to leave too. How come there are some monsters in this big place? There are hands of the salamander and the revolutionary army. It's going to be lively now. Good Li Zhao. Humph, don't look at us being chased and beaten by the revolutionary army. Once hands of the salamander comes, things will be difficult to say. Well, Hanzo-sama is someone I admire. He can challenge 3 major countries alone. You can know Hanzo's identity and prestige from the chats between a few people. Suddenly, the 4 people who were about to walk through the woods were covered by a large net. Just as they were about to get up, they were surrounded by more than a dozen people. Who are you? The other party said with a thump in his heart. Igarashi snorted coldly, who are they? Of course they are the revolutionary army. Suddenly, the 4 people's faces turned pale with fear, and they hurriedly begged for mercy. Please, please spare me, I was hired here, the ninja cried on his knees. I didn't kill the revolutionary army, I really didn't, let me go. List. Igarashi asked the soldiers to take him down without even looking. Do you know how to beg for mercy now? It's too late. Why didn't you tell me when you were chasing the revolutionary army like dogs? Do you really think the revolutionary army is easy to kill? As more and more ninjas fled, even the Special Operations Brigade appeared. Igarashi no longer hides, the entire army steps forward to directly encircle and suppress. Chapter 86. In the open space outside the woods, dozens of ninjas were being chased in a panic. They have not experienced this kind of sleepless battle for a long time. Long-term drinking and S**X have exhausted their bodies. Igarashi saw Special Forces members appearing among the chasing crowd ahead, and immediately understood that these should be the last group of ninjas. Immediately said in a deep voice, "The whole army attacks." Roar! Everyone roared and walked out of the hidden woods. Everyone has sharp eyes and serious expressions. "Raise the gun!" Igarashi shouted loudly. Shua! The uniform movements shocked the dozens of ninjas in front of them. Why is there a revolutionary army here? How many revolutionary armies are there? The ninja was shocked. Why are the revolutionary troops fighting more and more? What's going on? Rush over, dash over to the daimyo's territory, where Rain Shinobi village cannot stand idly by. Yes, that is the only way to survive. Lord Hanzo is the idol of all ninjas in the land of Rain. This weapon of the revolutionary army can only be activated 7 times. As long as you withstand it, you can survive. Turns his head to look at the Special Forces team members behind him, grits his teeth, and moves quickly while running, towards the front to heal. At this time, they were united under the oppression of life and death. The Earth-style ninja is in front, be sure to use the hardening technique. Withstand the lethality in front, someone shouted. The ninjas behind are preparing to form seals, and after forming the seals, they will perform ninjutsu in sequence. Success or failure depends on this move. Igarashi looked at the ninja who dared to charge in the face of the spear formation with a sneer on his face. Coolly said, "Shooting." Bang! 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 Earth-style hardening technique. The 140 ninjas in the front row used Earth-style to block bullet attacks, and were extremely happy. It's effective, it's effective. Even if this weapon is fired continuously, it can only be shattered. Quick, 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 I'll hold on, you guys make seals quickly. Rush over and kill these thugs. The ninjas gradually discovered how to fight the revolutionary army after fighting against it. But all this turned into a cold snort in Igarashi's eyes. Do you think our revolutionary army is a fool? Then try the 3-stage shooting tactic invented by Mr. Wildfire. Second row, shooting. Bang! 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 Third row, shooting. Bang! 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 The pistol team is divided into 3 rows. After the first row is designed, the second row shoots. When the second row shoots, the first row and the third row swap positions. Go to the rear to change the magazine. After the second shot is fired, the third row fires. The second row swaps positions with the first row to replenish ammunition. After the third row completes shooting, the first row will shoot again, which greatly shortens the interval. But the biggest role of 3-stage shooting in this world is the intensity. In the shortest possible time, a large number of bullets are fired out, forming a barrage. This can effectively resist the powerful impact of some ninjutsu, such as now. The ninja in the front row opposite who used the Earth-style hardening technique was still congratulating himself on how tough his body was. But gradually he discovered a terrifying thing. That is, after the opponent shoots, there is a second one. They were already shaken by the shock, but half of them burst out with blood after being shot by the second row. Can't stop it. Why is there a second row of attacks? A ninja shouted desperately. But this is just the beginning. Then the third platoon fired. After the Japanese platoon fired a salvo, the Earth-style ninjas in front had already fallen to the ground. But this also buys time for the ninjas behind to form seals. The ninja behind them formed a seal, mouth vice admiral, and wanted to spit out some flames, water sprays, etc., and hope filled their eyes. Next moment, A new round of shooting begins. Bang! 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 The dense sound of gunshots is like hundreds of firecrackers set off during the new year, exploding non-stop. The ninja with hand seals was about to use his ninjutsu, and several bloody holes quickly appeared on his body. He ran and fell to the ground, vomiting blood. The last thing he looked at was the grass on the ground, and the light in his eyes went out. What comes to mind is, why are there such heaven-defying weapons? Weapons are heaven-defying. In fact, J-ninjutsu has ways to restrain it, and field road hardening technique is one of them. Hardening technique, hardening the body to reduce physical attack damage. The use of ninja is indeed effective, especially when one-on-one, the ninja can endure the severe pain and rush over to kill with one blow. But in front of the group army, it became incompetent. Rows of revolutionary troops are firing non-stop. Even if you are wearing steel plates, they can kill you. Legion shootout 3-stage shooting tactics. Within 50 meters in front, the ninja's body kept falling down and never got up again. After the battle, no ninja can get close to within 20 meters. A vacuum zone is formed here. The special operations team members behind him were also stunned by the regular army's fighting style. Nagato looked at the revolutionary army camp that was constantly bursting with flames, and swallowed his saliva. Yahiko, who was chasing along, opened his mouth in disbelief. Then he remembered something and turned to ask Kakuzu beside him. Kakuzu, don't you also have the hardening technique? How about, you try it? Kakuzu shrank his neck after hearing this, and said in a buzzing voice, Yahiko boy, I think your skin is itchy. Such an intensive attack will make you hard and sleepy. Kakuzu is numb. Who designed this shooting tactic? The pistol was originally designed to be fast enough. Xi. Now, row after row of shooting without stopping, the bullets fired can almost connect into 10 lines. Ha ha ha, how about it? The special operations team is welcome to come and give guidance. Igarashi came from a distance and laughed at the surprised look of everyone. He is extremely proud now. Special operations members are all selected from the regular army. But these people, when they are out of the regular army, sometimes become very angry. Although there was no malicious intention, it made Igarashi very depressed. Now you are dumbfounded when you see this kind of intensive gun tactics. Nagato chuckled with a stiff face. Captain Igarashi, your shooting action just now seems quite novel to me. The special operations team behind him also nodded. This is not only novel, it simply opens up a new world for them. If the Special Operations Brigade learns this, its combat effectiveness will be increased several times. Igarashi smiled proudly. Ah, you said 3-stage shooting, oh, Mr. Wildfire taught this. 3 stages? Destroy. Everyone quickly grasped the key point. Yahiko was stunned and asked a question that everyone wanted to ask. This gun tactic is so good, why is it only taught to the regular army but not to the Special Operations Brigade? You know, whether it is weapons or ammunition and equipment, the Special Operations Brigade has always been the best. However, Wildfire did not teach this gun tactic because it made people curious. Igarashi curled his lips slightly. I have asked this question before, what do you think Mr. Wildfire said? How do you say that? Everyone's curiosity was aroused, and they listened with their eyes wide open and their ears pricked up. Igarashi imitated Yahoo's tone and posture and waved his hands. Special Operations Brigade? There are only a few people there. Even if you teach them, they won't be able to exert decent power. Only Legion combat can bring it into full play. Everyone in Nagato was dumbfounded. Nima, what you learned is too similar, and you are waving your hands. Why are you waving your hands? How many people are there? The Special Operations Brigade cannot display decent power. Everyone looked at each other. After a moment, a sound of ghost crying and wolf howling suddenly came from behind. "Boss, hurry up and expand the Special Operations Brigade, we are despised by Mr. Wildfire." "Yeah, don't say that kind of expression, it's clearly a kind of disdain. It's over, we were abandoned by Mr. Wildfire and no longer favored." Nagato's eyelids jumped when he heard this. What is this? Will the Special Operations Brigade fall out of favor? How is it possible? The Special Operations Brigade is a sharp knife of the Revolutionary Army. He coughed slightly. This kind of three-stage shooting is indeed suitable for the regular army. They have many people. You can see the effect just now. If we charge head-on, even we will be dead and wounded. This is the advantage in numbers, which is very suitable for the regular army. But our Special Operations Brigade is not focused on head-on confrontation, so it's useless to learn it. Of course these are not important, the important thing is that we won. Ouch! Everyone couldn't help cheering. The Revolutionary Army was exhausted from this battle, but fortunately the result was good. Ishida's entire army has been wiped out, and the territory has been taken over by the Revolutionary Army. Daimyo Tsuruta, on his side, deliberately tried to conquer the Nagato headquarters of the Revolutionary Army, but almost succeeded. But in the end, it was the hand genin who killed all the armed personnel, and all the 300 ninjas recruited were killed or injured, and only a few escaped. At this point, the Revolutionary Army's power in the country of Rain has obviously grown. How about we occupy the daimyo's territory as well? Tsuruta doesn't have many subordinates now. We can take this opportunity to liberate the Kingdom of Rain. As soon as Yahiko proposed, everyone became excited. Liberation. This is something I couldn't even think about before. But now, there is a real chance to become a reality. Chapter 87. Just when everyone is eager to try. Several figures jumped up from a distance. These people wore Rain Shinobi Village forehead protectors on their foreheads and glanced around with frowns. This is the territory of the daimyo and is protected by Rain Shinobi Village. You are not allowed to enter. Leave quickly. Rain Shinobi Ninja said solemnly. The sudden words and tone of voice made everyone furious. How many people came and wanted the Revolutionary Army to withdraw? Yahiko raised his head and looked at the Rain Shinobi Ninja in front of him, and said contemptuously, "Our Revolutionary Army can go wherever we want. You Rain Shinobi still want to protect that evil daimyo. We obey orders from Hanzo-sama. Hanzo-sama has an order that the Revolutionary Army cannot enter the daimyo territory. You just can't enter." Rain Shinobi said. As soon as he finished speaking, he already took a fighting stance. Yahiko, Nagato and the others frowned. Hanzo again. Rain Shinobi's approach still makes Yahiko very angry. Raise your hand and a shot will come out. Boom. Ah! One of the Rain Shinobi screamed and covered his ears, blood flowing out from his fingers. Yahiko actually shot the opponent's ear off with one shot. The gunfire rang out, and without the need for anyone to direct it, there was a roar among the revolutionary soldiers, and they all raised their guns and pointed them at Rain Shinobi. At this time, hundreds or thousands of pitch-black holes were aimed at a few people. This scene scared Rain Shinobi to death. It was just an attack. They were injured before they could see clearly what it was. Now that I'm facing so many things at the same time, I'm not afraid that it's fake. Yahiko saw the other person's expression tighten and sneered, "Tell that Hanzo to mind his own business. If you say any more, I will break you." Yahiko was about to step forward, but Igarashi hurriedly stopped him. Now he remembered that there was a Wildfire secret message in his arms. It is to be opened after meeting Nagato's headquarters, now is the time. Igarashi took out the scroll and took a look, with a look of disbelief on his face, and the other's eyes widened. I saw it said, if the daimyo is not caught, he will bring his troops back and make repairs. How is this possible? My captain, did you get a fake one? Yahiko glanced at him in disbelief. Others also looked at me with the same doubts. You have a problem. What is Mr. Wildfire thinking? Kakuzu asked in confusion. Why did you go back if the daimyo wasn't caught? Nagato thought for a while. Everyone couldn't believe it because this message did not order the troops to liberate the Kingdom of Rain. You know, all the organized troops in the Rain Kingdom are now the Revolutionary Army except Hanzo. Now he is actually ordered to go back. Think about it. On the other hand, if you catch the daimyo, you don't have to go back? What does it mean? This puzzled all of them. After confirming it several times, Igarashi affirmed, this is indeed an order from Mr. Wildfire. As for why this is happening, I probably need to go back and ask. Then Igarashi and Nagato left with their troops, while Rain Shinobi looked at all this angrily. A few days later the Revolutionary Army guy arrived. Civilians in the base area beat gongs and drums to welcome them. Colorful silks were flying everywhere and gongs and drums were noisy. Some held out eggs and some held fruits to welcome them. At this time, Wildfire was already waiting for everyone to return in the conference room. Haha, the great hero is finally back. Sit down, sit down. Yahiko looked at Igarashi, Nagato, and others came in and stood up and laughed to greet them. Everyone stands and salutes. Report to Mr. Wildfire, we have wiped out all the daimyo nobles who invaded the base this time. Igarashi Nagato said. Okay, sit down quickly. Yahiko patted the arms of Kakuzu and others and signaled. And when they arrived at Yahiko, Yahiko turned around and left. Yahiko was so frightened that she didn't dare to take a breath. She sat at the end of the table and huddled next to Nagato, blocking her sight. On the side, Konan looked at all this in amusement. You must know that Yahiko is very courageous and has always been fearless. And now I see Mr. Yahiko, like a student who made a mistake, afraid to face the teacher. Kawaki also heard about Yahiko, shook his head and smiled. Fortunately, the meeting finally started. Yahiko looked at everyone and said with a smile, first of all, let me tell you why there was that last order. That's why you came back without catching the daimyo. Yes, Mr. Wildfire, I can't figure it out. Igarashi asked, and the others nodded. The daimyo ran away, why don't we catch him? Nagato said. Yahiko smiled and said, although the daimyo is a person, he is more than just a person. He represents history. Now that the name has escaped and returned to Daming Mansion, we can't go directly to Daming Mansion to arrest people. This is because if we do it directly and roughly, it will cause panic in other countries in the world. This is so evil in nature, the 5 major countries will all send ninjas to destroy us. After all, they are a collective. But if we use revolutionary methods to be gentler and not so rough, otherwise we will directly tie up all the big names of the 5 major countries, then the revolution will be successful. Arresting the daimyo from his mansion will not solve the actual problem. It will also intensify and stimulate conflicts. This is a terrorist attack. If this is really done, Hands of the Salamander will directly abandon the ninjas of the 3 major countries and turn around to fight the revolution. Daimyo from other countries would also offer huge bounties, and even send people from their own villages to attack the revolutionary army. What if the daimyo is captured on the battlefield? Konan thought for a while and asked another question. Wildfire smiled, if we defeat the daimyo on the battlefield and capture him, the nature will change. Then Hands of the Salamander will beg us not to kill the daimyo. At that time, we will use the emperor to command the princes, replace the daimyo to govern the country, increase military spending, support foreign wars, and win over Rain Shinobi. When the time is stable, we can carry out agrarian revolution across the country and let the daimyo Rain Shinobi completely withdraw from the stage of history. Wildfire said loudly. This remark shocked everyone. It turns out that there is such a big difference between capturing the daimyo and defeating him head-on on the battlefield. Senju Hashirama, what this Wildfire said makes sense. The daimyo cannot be captured by force, otherwise the consequences will be serious. Senju Tobirama, if the daimyo of a country is captured or killed in daimyofu, then there is no need for the hidden villages of that country to exist. Uchihamadara, well, this would be a great shame. Sarutobi Hiruzen, this kind of terrorist attack will not be tolerated by the whole world. If it is really done, the revolutionary army will not be far from destruction. Please give me flowers. Terumi Mei, although I hate the daimyo, I still have to save him when he is in danger. After all, ninjas also have dignity. Gaara, I also hate the name of the Kingdom of Wind, but this kind of thing must never happen. This is a provocation to ninjas. Onoki, humph, I will chase him down even if I run to the ends of the earth. Fourth Raikage, this is lawless behavior. Let's try arresting a daimyo. See how incompetent we ninjas are. At this time, whether it is Hokage, Mizukage, movies, Kazekage, etc., everyone is very disgusted with this behavior of arresting daimyo. They thought they were being provoked. They think they are despised. They think they have lost face. But all this is on the surface. Uzumaki Naruto, to capture the daimyo on the battlefield, will our village really do what Wildfire said? Everyone was silent for a while. Some people even gritted their teeth. It's so good. What are you asking? What's the truth? Gaara, if the daimyo of the Kingdom of Wind is captured on the battlefield, I will go to negotiate with him. After all, I have never been captured on the battlefield before. 0. Jiraiya, Naruto, the goal on the battlefield is to kill the opponent. There are no daimyo, only enemies. So in this case, if the daimyo is defeated and caught or killed directly, he can't blame others. Kakuzu, yes, there is only life and death on the battlefield, but usually daimyo can run faster than anyone else, so it is still difficult to kill them. Tsunade, Naruto, ninjas must be worthy of their own ninja skills. The daimyo was caught on the battlefield because his skills were inferior to others. There is nothing to say. After hearing this, everyone nodded silently. You went to fight with someone, lost, and got tied up. Now I have to save your defeated general. It's really embarrassing. This is what most people think in their childhood, and there is no problem at all. Some are even discarded directly, and there is no point in taking the waste. Just lose and die, don't cause any trouble. But if it is a daimyo, it still has value and needs to be saved. Because the money in the village is allocated by the daimyo. Nagato, when I was young, I seemed too immature, and the wildfire was extinguished more clearly. He is worthy of being a mentor. He can analyze the essence of the matter in just a few sentences. I don't have this ability. Konan pursed his lips and smiled. Look at Yahiko, that mouse looks like a cat, as if Mr. Wildfire can eat him if he looks at it just one more time. Nagato smiled rarely when he saw this, with memories in his eyes. Haha, Yahiko. Knowing that catching the daimyo on the battlefield had such a big effect, everyone immediately beat their chests and stamped their feet, secretly regretting it. Yahiko is even more thinking about what went wrong. Why does the daimyo run so fast? After answering everyone's questions, Yahoo continued, now we want to focus on the relationship between Hands of the Salamander and Daimyo Tsuruta. This is related to the direction of the revolution later. Everyone has fought against the Daimyo Tsuruta, so there is nothing to fear, but Hands of the Salamander must be taken seriously. Chapter 88. Immediately Konan distributed the collected information about Hanzo. Hanzo, the leader of Rain Shinobi village. He is regarded by the ninjas as the pinnacle of the ninja world. He is known as the demigod and has unparalleled prestige in the village. He has a confident and suspicious personality, is used to acting in secret, and is very cautious. He has assigned himself a 24-hour rotating bodyguard. Excellent in using summoning techniques Sanshao fish, fire style, and water style. In combat mode, he uses all his strength once he strikes. Coupled with the poisonous gas of the Sanshou fish, it is difficult for ordinary people to get close. Yahiko took a look and found that there was nothing surprising. He said with some disdain, "A ninja who is greedy for life and afraid of death is still called a ninja." As soon as he finished speaking, he quietly raised his eyelids and found that everyone was looking at him. Yahiko really wanted to die, especially with Yahuo's half-smiling mouth. He wanted to find a crack in the ground and burrow down. After everyone read it, Yahuo said, "Everyone has two sides, Hanzo, we have to analyze him and see him. First of all, the positive evaluation is strong strength. Here we must not only calculate Hanzo's strength, but also calculate the lethality of Sanshou. Sanshou fish, it can release a wide range of poisons from its mouth to poison the enemy, and it can also swallow the enemy into the mouth. It also has the ability of 827 to burrow into the ground. Our revolutionary army cannot stop it just by drilling into the ground, not to mention it also has a strong ability to attack and kill people. Now everyone knows why it is called Hands of the Salamander, because the Sanshou fish is an indispensable helper for Hanzo." Everyone was secretly shocked when they saw the words on the information. Obviously we are looking at the same thing, why is there such a big difference in understanding? Yahuo ignored everyone's alarm and continued, "There is a highly poisonous black Sanshou fish in Rain Shinobi village. After the Sanshou fish died, the poison was implanted into Hanzo's body, so he became resistant to the poison. Not only that, every time he breathes, the people around him will inhale poisonous gas, so he wears a mask. Hanzo himself is particularly good at water style, which is not surprising. But he is a genius in water style. He has developed the water instant technique, and his control over water style is not something ordinary people can achieve. Coupled with Hanzo's swordsmanship in defeating Mifune, it can be seen that this person is particularly good at close combat. There is currently no outstanding record in fire style, so I won't consider it for the time being. Based on the above information, it is obvious that Hanzo is in danger. Grandmaster is good at melee combat, ninjutsu, and summoning techniques, and he is not afraid of poisonous assassinations." Hiss! Everyone tensed up after hearing this. They have seen many ninjas, but this is the first time they have seen one as comprehensive as Hanzo. As the older generation of cage-level ninjas die, they grow old. The level of ninja strength in the entire world is in a vacuum period to be developed. During this period, an all-powerful ninja suddenly emerged, and it was relatively reasonable for many ninjas to consider him to be the top existence. Looking at everyone's nervous look, Yahuo smiled slightly. "Don't be so nervous, everyone. Not to mention other people, even when Nagato and Kakuzu grow up, Hanzo will not be a rival. So Hanzo is only a threat to us now." After hearing this, everyone nodded slightly, not to mention Nagato's weird eyes. "It's Kakuzu, who will dig out the heart and use it if he likes, which ninjas have powerful ninjutsu. With mutual cooperation, the strength cannot be underestimated." Wildfire paused and continued, "I just talked about Hanzo's positive strengths, and then I'll talk about the negative ones. These negative qualities are reflected in the character, which is confident, suspicious, and cautious. Even though many ninjas in Rain Shinobi village admire him, he still behaves like this, which shows that he is extremely insecure in his heart. Any person or force that threatens him will be eradicated by him. Now I can be very sure that our revolutionary army is on this list." As soon as these words came out, Jiren immediately became serious. "Report." Kawaki raised his hand and said. Yahuo waved his hand gently and said, "Relax during the meeting, just raise your hand if you have anything to say." "Well, Mr. Yahuo, based on the information fed back by the propaganda team, it seems that there is some discrepancy with what you said." Chuan-Chu said after hesitating for a moment. Everyone's eyes shifted instantly. This is the first time anyone has questioned Wildfire's judgment at the meeting. This has never happened before. Kawaki is also an old revolutionary. What do you mean? After Yahiko felt the difference, he said encouragingly, Comrade Kawaki, you are very good at raising issues when you find them. What I say is not necessarily right. Kawaki was encouraged and calmed down. According to the feedback from comrades, we found that Hanzo has a very high prestige in the village. Not only the village, but also the Daming Mansion knows about Hanzo. Considering him to be the hero of the Land of Rain, he has unparalleled appeal among the ninja community. So, such a person will regard our revolutionary army as a threat and need to be eradicated. Wildfire nodded slightly. Thinked for a while and said, since Kawaki has introduced Hanzo's current status, prestige, and influence in the Land of Rain to everyone in advance, then let me focus on the two sides of people. No matter how heroic or powerful we are still selfish and have our own purposes. This cannot be ignored, because we are human beings. What kind of person is a combination of God and beast? So don't think that Hanzo will not attack us just based on his prestige and love among ninjas. This is one-sided. Just like me, everyone in the revolutionary army also loves me very much, but I still want to destroy Hanzo and destroy the daimyo. Isn't this the same thing? Ha ha ha. When Yahiko said this, everyone understood. Wildfire is the founder of the revolutionary army and the most dazzling light. It is normal to be loved by everyone. But Wildfire wants to spread this light, the revolutionary fire, to the whole world. After everyone digested it, Wildfire said, I would like to add that Hanzo now has considerable prestige not only among the ninja community, but also among the civilian community. This is also the main reason why we can no longer conflict with Rain Shinobi Village and the daimyo. We don't care about the prestige of the ninja community, but we must pay attention to the prestige among civilians. Yahiko knocked on the blackboard emphatically, because he who wins the hearts and minds of the people wins the world. Those who win the hearts of the people win the world. When Yahiko said these words sonorously and forcefully, everyone went numb. Senju Hashirama, he who wins the hearts of the people will conquer the world. How come this sentence has an inexplicable power? Senju Tobirama, well, I seem to have a premonition that something big and subversive is going to happen. Fourth Raikage, this Wildfire is talking nonsense. Shouldn't the world be conquered by ninjas? That's it now. Whichever country has powerful ninjas is the strong one. This is especially true for the 5 major countries. This Wildfire is bullshit. Sarutobi Hiruzen, this world is based on ninjas as the main combat unit, so Wildfire is going to be wrong this time. Only by winning over ninjas can we achieve a better revolution. Jiraiya, no, Wildfire gave civilians the power to fight against ninjas. He is right, he who wins the hearts of the people wins the world. He was excited at this moment. He never thought about this. Even though I knew that Wildfire wanted to unite most people, I never expected that this classic statement would appear. This kind of statement is simply a pointing light in the darkness. Showing everyone the way forward. I always say unity, unity, but this time I am more specific and let them have a sense of identity. Nagato looked bitter, every word of Wildfire is worth pondering. He is taking a different path. Ninja has no sense of superiority in front of him. What he wants to unite is the masses. Konan also nodded, in this world, when everyone is wooing ninjas, he is wooing civilians and staying with civilians. Daming Mansion of the Land of Fire. Why does this sentence give me a creepy feeling? The daimyo of the Kingdom of Wind turned his head and asked. At this moment, not only him, but also everyone present was standing on end. The daimyo of the Land of Earth cleared his throat, those who win the hearts of the people win the world. This sentence may seem very grand, but in fact it doesn't work at all. Whether it's ninjas or tailed beasts, that's our focus. Civilians must meet these conditions if they want to obtain these weapons. In this world, anyone who dares to produce such weapons will be beheaded and must be wiped out. Everyone around nodded. As long as civilians are allowed to live in an environment without knowledge and power for their entire lives, Relying on ninjas and tailed beasts can better suppress them. Only then can you become a leek that your children and grandchildren will never be able to harvest in your lifetime. The daimyo of the land of fire shook his head with a gloomy face. Monopolizing knowledge and eliminating science is a good way, but what if the world is really going to be integrated? In other words, this huge screen above our heads will draw ordinary people in to watch movies. As soon as these words came out, everyone looked at the Fire Country daimyo in shock. How is that possible? Someone shouted loudly regardless of his status as a daimyo of the Fire Country. That is, if civilians are allowed to watch the movie, wouldn't revolutionary ideas be spread? No, absolutely not. Daimyo, you are a bit alarmist. This joke is not funny at all. 1. Everyone was talking and fearful. They were scared from the bottom of their hearts. They couldn't imagine what it would be like if civilians watched the movie. Chapter 89. The daimyo of the Fire Country made a cold sound when he saw everyone's frightened and uneasy expressions. What are you afraid of? You must know that only strength is the most real. What revolutionary ideas are, in my opinion, they are just ideas. Even if we let them know that we are exploiting and squeezing them in this world, will they dare to confront us and ninjas? Impossible. As long as we hold the ninja firmly in our hands, the world will still be ours. Thoughts can indeed take root. But if you want to bear fruit, you need powerful nutrients. And this nutrient is strength, power. As long as the ninjas do not waver, there will be no fundamental changes in the operation of this system and society. Everyone slowly digested Wildfire's words. Someone came back to their senses after a while and asked doubtfully, Mr. Wildfire, how can that Hanzo have prestige among civilians? It's impossible. Yahiko, Igarashi, and others nodded. It should be said that Hans of the Salamander occupies a place among ninjas due to his strength. This is understandable, even worship and admiration can exist. But as far as they know, Hanzo is not much like a commoner. It makes no sense why he still has reputation among civilians. Yahoo seemed to have seen everyone's thoughts and shook his head slightly. You have to know who he is fighting for. Then Wildfire said with a serious expression, Hanzo alone acted like a hero, declaring war on the Southern Iron Kingdom, declaring war on Konoha, declaring war on Sand Shinobi, declaring war on Rock Shinobi. What is the purpose of this series of declarations of war? 22. It's for land, it's for proving our strength to the three major countries. It's okay for the three major countries of fire, wind, and earth to compete with each other, but don't use them as leaders of other countries. The Kingdom of Rain is located between the three kingdoms of fire, wind, and earth. Any conflicts among the three major countries will be resolved in the Kingdom of Rain. If things continue like this, let alone survival and development, even the lives of civilians will not be guaranteed at all. But at that time, Rain Shinobi did not have a strong leader to change this situation, so he could only endure the bullying from the big powers. But it's different now. Hanzo, a ninja with peak strength now, is the most powerful guarantee. Since Hanzo declared war, the safety of civilians has been inexplicably guaranteed, even when the country is at war. This has to be said to be an irony. Now Hanzo's belief is to change the world through himself, and everything he has done has indeed made the world realize the power of the Kingdom of Rain. So not only ninjas, but also civilians support him. At this stage, when Hanzo's reputation is at its peak, our revolutionary army cannot regard Hanzo as an enemy. After all, what he is doing now is also what our revolutionary army will do in the future. We must understand the purpose of the revolution. When there are powerful enemies outside, we are irresponsible to the civilians by fighting with Rain Shinobi. Unless one day he betrays his beliefs, then the revolution in the country of Rain will be inevitable and unstoppable. Our revolution does not blindly establish enemies and defeat them by randomly labeling them. If that is the case, the revolutionary army will become an army without faith. 1. Yahoo's words hit everyone's hearts hard. Originally, everyone wanted to wait for the revolutionary army to be repaired and the reserve team training to be completed, and then proposed to wipe out the daimyo and rain shinobi village. But I didn't expect to receive a wake-up call. What Hanzo is doing now is supported by both ninjas and civilians. This is the human heart. If the revolutionary army really challenges the heroic Hanzo when the land of rain is facing internal and external troubles, then people's hearts will be shattered. Because they don't understand. Why didn't the revolutionary army fight against ninjas from other countries instead of fighting against the heroes of their own country? If we really do this, the faith of the revolutionary army will collapse. The combat power they have always been proud of will become like a crumbling dog, because they don't know why they are fighting. Wildfire directly pointed out the crux of the problem. Hanzo is not the enemy of the revolutionary army at this stage. And make sure you can't label anyone just because you want to knock someone down. This is wrong. Then what are we going to do now? Kakuzu asked in a buzzing voice. Wildfire stretched out his finger and said, there are really too many things to do. First of all, the first point is, a well. As soon as these words came out, everyone suddenly looked solemn and their expressions became solemn. Wildfire tilted the table and said, Konan, tell me. Yes. Konan opened the folder and looked up at Nagato, sighed secretly and then said, Ichii has now confirmed that he betrayed the revolution. Betrayal of the revolution. This has never happened before in the history of the establishment of the Revolutionary Army. Especially this person who did not enter the Special Operations Brigade after many layers of selection. You must know that those who can enter the Special Operations Brigade are people with high ideological awareness. But now this situation actually occurs, I can't even imagine it. Konan continued, after Ichijing entered Daming Mansion to accept the mission, he has been having fun in the suburban mansion all day without thinking about the mission. 1. This is only secondary, the important thing is this time the daimyo escaped in advance under Shijing's prompting. Boom! Konan's words were like thunder exploding in everyone's minds. Looking for fun, without thinking. Take the daimyo to escape in advance? This is a complete betrayal of the revolution, and you are making a fool of yourself. Nagato's face was gloomy, he stood up immediately and said angrily, Mr. Yahoo, I ask someone to kill this traitor Ichikai. Ikijing's rebellion was something he never expected. After all, I was shouting loudly and serving tea and water before, so I thought this would happen. Now it is even more of a shame to the Special Operations Brigade. If this matter cannot be resolved, Nagato will no longer be serving as captain. Yahoo nodded slightly, well, I leave this matter to you, Yijing must die. Then he pressed his hand and asked Nagato to sit down, and then said, the problem with this use can be said to be inevitable among accidents. The revolutionary ideological work within the revolutionary army seems to be weak. Now I have decided to officially change the propaganda team into the political and work department, specializing in ideological work. Kawaki, your work is very important, and the incident with Ichii has sounded a wake-up call for us. Kawaki nodded seriously. Although Yijing is from the Special Operations Brigade, the ideological work has been done by the propaganda team. Now Yijing has rebelled against the revolution, which fully demonstrates that there is a lot of work to be done in ideological work. It must be perfected. Yahoo nodded and said, political work is related to the quality of grassroots construction. First, we must work hard to select political cadres. They must be firm, have acumen and the ability to distinguish right from wrong, and be clear-headed. They must not be tempted in the face of the temptation of fame and fortune, and must not be confused in the face of big things and big mistakes. These are very important. If even political cadres cannot stay awake, then it will be nonsense to do work for others. Second, strengthen ideological construction, arm yourself with revolutionary ideas, and turn them into your own weapons. Third, be able to speak eloquently. One specific point is to be able to speak, convey your thoughts and understanding of the situation completely upwards and downwards. Be good at coordination, coordinate the large and small contradictions that arise in the Revolutionary Army, and understand the current mental state of each Revolutionary Army comrade. If you find there is a problem in your heart, you must seize the time to solve it. 4. Strengthen moral cultivation. Political cadres must overcome all kinds of fame and fortune ideas, establish a correct outlook on life, values continuously enhance the sense of responsibility and mission to do a good job in political work. We must be modest and prudent, treat others sincerely, resolutely oppose formalism and all kinds of bureaucracy, and carry out the ideological construction of the Revolutionary Army in a down-to-earth manner. After listening to this, Kawaki discovered that these are the conditions that every political cadre must meet. Looking at the 707 words filled with words, he felt deeply stressed. Because to do this, you have to put in a lot of effort. But he also knows the importance of this job. Yahiko chuckled and said, Kawaki, you are an old revolutionary. I think you were there when we were in the cave. Now I hand you the lifeblood of the Revolutionary Army, faith, and you have to knock out the impurities in it. Political workers must go down to the grassroots level, to every grassroots unit. Thank you for your hard work. Yes. Yahiko this time is trying to send political cadres down to the lowest level units. Only in this way can problems be discovered and solved at all times, and the ideological consciousness of the Revolutionary Army can be improved at all times. It is possible to further prevent the occurrence of people like Yu Jing. Even if it may happen again later, it can completely prevent most people from having bad thoughts. This is very important. Kawaki recalled the previous scene in the cave, smiled and said, Mr. Wildfire, the most correct thing I did in my life was to let you come in to take shelter from the rain. I will do revolutionary work for the rest of my life. Ha ha ha. Many people who knew the inside story laughed. Yahiko also looked at everyone present and felt a lot more at ease. After all, revolution is not a matter of one person. It requires everyone to work together. Only in this way can the revolution continue and be successful. Just when Yahiko looked at everyone, there was only one person who had not caught his gaze, and the figure had shrunk back. Half of the body almost slipped to the ground. Yahiko. Do you want to dig a hole and run again? Yahiko looked at Yahiko with a smile. Although it was a smile, Yahiko felt a trace of anger and murderous intent from it. Chapter 90. Everyone in the conference room looked at Yahiko, who was half sliding away, using Nagato's body as a shield. For a while, he pursed his lips and smiled, looking like he was gloating about his misfortune. Yahiko smiled awkwardly, sat up straight and said, Hee, this chair is a bit slippery, and it fell down without knowing what happened, hee. Yahiko laughed and sat up again. While the messenger winked at Nagato, Konan, you have to save me. He knew that he would definitely not be able to escape this time after being criticized, so he could only call in foreign aid. But Nagato and Konan just rolled their eyes and grinned, which made Yahiko feel that he was about to be in disaster. Sure enough, Yahiko said with a smile, our comrade Yahiko is so awesome, he ran directly from the staff headquarters to the front line. Very good, this is on-the-spot command of the battle situation. I am very happy that our revolutionary army has such good comrades. Yahiko couldn't sit still after hearing this. This is not a compliment. This is a compliment to the point of death. He stood up hurriedly and said, Mr. Yahiko, I admit my mistake. I made a very serious mistake. I should not have left my post without asking for instructions. I accept all punishments imposed on me by the organization. After I finished speaking, I felt so tense that I could only look up at the roof. Yahiko revealed his white fang, smiled and slapped the table. You have no attitude of admitting your mistake at all, and you are not sincere at all. Do you think the Revolutionary Army is just a child playing house? At this time, Yahiko pointed at Yahiko with a stern face and shouted coldly. Yahiko looked at Yahiko at this time, put away his cynicism, lowered his head and said sincerely, Mr. Yahiko, I was wrong. Yahiko sneered, you, Yahiko, are really capable. You left your post without permission and left the staff aside for me. Do you know the mission of the General Staff? Tactical adjustments must be made at any time according to the situation on the front-line battlefield. How about you? It's great that you just patted your butt and left. I wanted to go to the front line to fight, but I just pressed the button. If next time, I learn from you, I will also go to the front line. I am stronger than you in ninjutsu. Can I go too? You are more useful. As soon as these words came out, everyone present could not sit still. Mr. Wildfire goes to the front line? Nima, stop making trouble. The Revolutionary Army is not yet ready for the leader to fight in person. If we really reach that situation, it must be at a very critical moment. Mr. Wildfire is a blazing fire in this world, which can convey warmth and light to others. If such a person makes any mistakes, let alone anything else, it is still unknown whether the revolution can succeed. Everyone panicked for a moment. I was wrong, Mr. Wildfire. I am willing to be punished in any way. I realize my mistake. Really? Yahiko stretched out his hands and waved them. If Mr. Wildfire goes to the front line because of his own problems, then the problem will be huge. If there is another problem, then Yahiko will die even 10 times. Kawaki also hurriedly said, Mr. Yahiko, our revolutionary army has not reached the critical moment yet, so there is no need for you to make plans yet. Igarashi hurriedly said, Mr. Yahiko, with our revolutionary army here, you are guiding the work in the base area in a down-to-earth manner. These are all inseparable from you. Nagato, Mr. Wildfire, I was wrong too, I should have kidnapped Yahiko back then. Kakuzu, Yahiko, I should have dug out your heart to see how much it was. There was a commotion in the conference room, and they were all criticizing Yahiko for leaving his post without permission. This kind of trend cannot increase. It must not increase. Yahiko also knew that he had made a big mistake and almost cried when facing everyone's criticism. Yahiko almost pressed his hands when he saw the heat, and waited for everyone to calm down before continuing. What I just talked about was just the issue of you leaving your post without permission. I have read the battle report. I used my brain in the first half, but I ran out of brain in the second half. As a member of the staff, do you know how to fight and how to fight? Give me random orders. You also know that 300 ninja troops in Tsurada did not show up, so you want to pull out the tiger's teeth. Tell me what the conditions are for extracting teeth from the tiger's mouth, tell me. Yahiko bit her lip and said word by word, after understanding the opponent's movements and intentions, estimate the strength and time of both parties, launch a quick attack, and annihilate the opponent with thunder. Yahiko chuckled, so you know everything, and you remember everything I taught you, but when you use it, you forget it. Have you thrown all those things aside? Hey! Nagato stood up and said, Mr. Wildfire, I also support Yahiko's actions, so. Yahiko's eyes widened, didn't I read the battle report? I want you to repeat it. Okay, now that you have stood up, I will talk about you. As the commander of the Eastern Front, you must think twice before doing anything. You must make correct judgments based on the situation at the time. Don't blindly follow other people's suggestions. You must have your own thoughts. Where are your thoughts? Where are your thoughts? Hey! Originally, the regular army could retain more than 300 people, and the Special Operations Brigade could retain more than 30 people. Now, the total number is less than 50. What were you thinking at that time? Everyone is numb. Yahiko scolded a Nagato who came out in the middle of the scolding to share the firepower. Now the firepower is shared, but people can't bear it anymore. Nagato felt bitter in his heart when he heard Yahiko's words. Recalling the scene of eating and living together with my comrades, my eyes are red. Yes, it can reduce a lot of casualties. It is because I am not firm enough and have no judgment of my own that I have caused all this. He was filled with regret. Wildfire looked at the two of them angrily. Nagato, his poor command has caused a large number of casualties to the Special Operations Brigade and regular troops. It has been decided to transfer him to the Logistics and Miscellaneous Department to be responsible for the overall health situation of the headquarters. As soon as this statement came out, Zhou Ren was dumbfounded. Miscellaneous Department, sanitation? Isn't this just like being a handyman and sweeping the streets? Originally, they are the captain of a dignified Special Operations Brigade. Now I am responsible for the overall health work, which is a huge difference. Yahiko was about to speak when Nagato grabbed his sleeve and said, "Yes." Nagato thinks in his heart that he should accept the punishment. After all, so many of my team members died because of my poor command. This kind of pain is what I should do no matter what I do, let alone being a cleaner. After Wildfire finished talking about Nagato's question, he looked at Yahiko. As a member of the staff, I left my post without permission and participated in the command. I failed to pull out the teeth from the tiger's mouth and was surrounded instead. Cause so many comrades to sacrifice. Yahiko clenched his fists. "Mr. Wildfire, it's my fault that I didn't do a good job. I wish I could make a clearer judgment." Wildfire sneered. "Can you judge more clearly? You can't do it. I heard that your eyes lit up when you were instigating a counterattack, haha, that's great. If you go to war with a sense of luck and don't know the importance of life, are you worthy of being a staff officer? I tell you, your rationality was completely suppressed by desire at that time. Imagine what a great victory this is. This is something that no one else can achieve. You are so proud and arrogant. What a great success for you. The Revolutionary Army is not a tool for you to earn credit. Yahiko, if you don't correct this, I advise you to leave the Revolutionary Army as soon as possible and not cause trouble to others. Because you will kill more people." Wildfire hits the ground with a voice track. Everyone else's faces turned pale because what Wildfire just said was too serious. He never said to anyone, "If that doesn't work, please leave the revolution." You must know that revolution is about achieving the goal that everyone strives for. Now everyone is afraid to take a breath. Kakuzu agrees, he will dig out the heart of anyone who endangers the revolution. Mr. Wildfire believes that if Yahiko does not get rid of his pride and success, it will bring more serious consequences to the Revolutionary Army. Let Yahiko leave. I strongly agree. In Kakuzu's heart, there is only revolution. Yahiko truly realized his mistake at this time, and was so frightened that he lost his mind and turned pale. It would be more uncomfortable to leave the revolution than to kill him. It would be better to kill him directly. During his time in the Revolutionary Army, he learned what revolution is, why revolution is made, and how stupid his previous thoughts were. He feels that what is happening now makes him feel fulfilled and satisfied. Konan gritted his teeth and was about to stand up to speak when he was stopped by Yahoo. Everyone must be responsible for what they have done. Yahiko is no exception. This time it will be recorded as a major demerit. If there is a next time, just get out of here. It is now decided to punish Yahiko for leaving his post without authorization and taking advantage of his power. Yahiko's staff and all other positions will be revoked, and he will only retain his status as a revolutionary army. Go to the base area to reclaim wasteland and carry out labor reform to raise pigs in the fields. The time limit is indefinite. Indefinite transformation, all positions revoked, only revolutionary army status retained. Chi. This is equivalent to a semi-cleared state. Which revolutionary army does not have a specific job, and Yahiko directly works as a farmer. It's not even his turn to sweep the streets. Everyone wanted to help and speak, but saw the angry eyes of Yahoo and remained silent. After all, Konan was stopped just now when he wanted to speak. Yahoo paused and said, "Let's move on to another important topic, Intelligence work. This battle fully exposed the flaws in the intelligence transmission efficiency of the Revolutionary Army, so I studied a little something. Bring me the radio station. Chapter 91. Haiden, the leader of the other world, is so pitiful. He will be punished by Wildfire and sweep the streets. Ha ha ha. Scorpion, it's really a pleasure to watch. Conan doesn't look so cold. He's humane. The key is to be obedient. Deidara, the contrast between the leader and Conan of another world and this world is too big, ha ha ha. Black Zetsu, this is still our leader. Orochimaru, ha ha ha, it's so beautiful. It turns out that the arrogant leader also has people who are afraid. Wildfire even reprimanded the two leaders before and after. Uchiha Itachi, the changes are a bit big. Kakuzu, although the change is a bit big, it looks quite pleasing to the eye. Many members of the Akatsuki organization couldn't hold back when they saw their leader being scolded by Yahiko. These are two completely different kinds of people. A cold-blooded child who corrects his mistakes immediately. Nagato listened to the ruthless ridicule of his men. Not only was he not angry, but his eyes were soft. Nagato in another world has a wise man like Yahiko beside him, I feel much more at ease. Conan pursed his lips and smiled after hearing this. Don't worry, you didn't see that Yahiko has been punished to become a farmer. Nagato smiled and said, this is what it should be. Yahiko's character is like this. There are weak points. Wildfire did nothing wrong. I support him on this point, otherwise it will destroy him. Conan nodded, it was indeed the case, she felt that the punishment for Yahiko and Nagato was just right. After a while, he asked, are you, a little envious of yourself in another world? Nagato thought for a while and sighed. Envy. If you say you are not envious, you would be lying to yourself. Wildfire has been leading the right path like a mentor. Although I don't know if the path Xiao is taking now is the right one, I know that this is the only path I can explore. Conan nodded after hearing this. Yes, this is the only way they can explore 073. Kakashi, as for radio communication, I've used this before, and it works very well on the ninja team. Uzumaki Naruto, you can hear it very clearly even if no one is around, it's a good thing. Harano Sakura, can this thing also be modified and upgraded? Why doesn't anyone here do this? Sarutobi Hiruzen, the focus of ninja is still on ninjutsu. As for these things, they are all purchased from outside. We are not responsible for production upgrades. Fourth Raikage, it's a waste of time for ninjas to do these jobs. It's better to have time to temper your body. This world radio has arrived. In particular, the ninja team's use of radio for small-scale communication has achieved good results. This time, Wildfire discovered related problems and took the time to learn about the relevant knowledge and fumbled for modifications and upgrades. Existing communication devices are formed. Yahiko looked at the box-sized machine and touched it with his hand. The speed and timeliness of the current combat information transmission have become very important, especially for our revolutionary army. Because our fighting style is different from that of ninjas. Our regular troops are comrades who don't know ninjutsu, and their support efficiency is not as fast as that of ninjas. Captain Igarashi should be aware of this. Igarashi nodded after hearing this. This time, whether it was a rush march or a subsequent change of action route, they were really exhausted. Some soldiers fell to the ground from exhaustion and vomited on the roadside due to long-term strenuous exercise. This is really common. Yahiko continued, this machine is to solve the problem of troops being too far apart to achieve quick communication. It is a modification and upgrade I made based on a small wireless, CCFB, wire. While saying that, he glared at Yahiko. Then he opened the box to reveal the instruments inside, looked at Conan seriously, and explained seriously. This is the radio station. Let me first talk about its working principle. The first is the signal source. The first step in the work of a radio station is to generate a signal source, by using an oscillator to generate an infinite frequency signal. Then comes the modulation. Next, the generated model is passed through the modulator, where the original signals are combined. The next step is amplification. The modulated signal is further amplified to increase the strength of the signal. The next step is tuning, and then it is radiated through the open line, thus achieving unlimited transmission with other radio stations, and finally receiving and demodulating. The received signal is demodulated through the demodulator, and the demodulator is restored to the original fundamental frequency signal. The power used by the radio is batteries, which can greatly improve convenience. Yahiko explained while performing actual operations. He put up the antenna and turned on the device, put on the headphones, and tapped the password lightly with his fingers. On the other side, Yongshan, the leader of the Revolutionary Army Reserve, walked back and forth anxiously. He has followed the instructions to take over Ishida's territory, but there is no instruction on the next step, which makes him anxious. Let me ask, is this box reliable? Can it really receive orders from the base? Yongshan anxiously asked the telegraph operator on the side. My leader, can you wait? We haven't received any signal yet, so don't rush me, the transmitter said helplessly. This is already the first time I have asked him. He can no longer remember. Sure enough, Yongshan asked again, is this really invented by Mr. Wildfire? The operator nodded very calmly and affirmatively, yes. It was definitely invented by Mr. Wildfire. Well, that's good, that's good. Yongshan finally sat down after receiving a positive reply. The dispatcher also looked at the other party helplessly. It seems that only Yahoo Shenshen's production can make the group leader calm down. As the leader of the reserve team, Yongshan is still a little scared. After all, he has no qualifications and no special forces team under his command, which makes him always feel a little uneasy. There is also complicated revolutionary propaganda work, which allows him to lead troops, but it is really impossible to let him do propaganda. The temper is there. Suddenly, the machine made a beeping sound, and the red button began to light up. Yongshan stood up in a hurry. What's wrong? What's wrong? Is it broken? Mad, I haven't used it yet, what's wrong? The dispatcher did not speak at this moment. He started to press the button, put on the earphones, and transcribed the message. Yongshan looked at the numbers written on the paper, and his head almost grew bigger. Nima, what is this? Can you tell the flowers from the numbers? The operator was not affected and took out a book after recording the numbers. Start editing and decoding according to the numbers above. After a while, the operator handed the message to Yongshan. Don't fool me, I know the characters. Yongshan will look over carefully. The words are fluent, and there is no problem with the logic. They are orders one after another, and there is the word fire at the end. Yang Chuan was stunned by this. How far is this from the base? Did Mr. Wildfire really send it? Is it sent now? Yongshan looked at the paper in front of him and was surprised for a moment. The operator looked at the surprised Yongshan and said firmly, it was sent by Mr. Wildfire, and it's being sent now. The word fire at the end represents Mr. Wildfire. And the distance here from the base area is only about 300 kilometers, which is too short. The dispatcher was talking, and Yongshan almost collapsed after listening to it. About 300 kilometers, the distance is too short. Are you speaking in human language? Even if a ninja runs through it, it will take a day. Now I received it so quickly, this is so fast. Yongshan seemed to not believe it and immediately pointed at the radio station. Immediately reply to Mr. Wildfire and say that I have received it. I will carry out follow-up tasks according to the order. I want to see if it is so fast. By the way, what is my code? The operator said helplessly, my leader, you don't have a code name. Only members of the Akatsuki organization have code names. You are not high enough. But our group has a code name, it's 102. Yongshan is full of yearning for the Akatsuki organization. Now the entire Akatsuki organization only has 10 people, which is the core of the revolutionary army. The significance of the representation is extraordinary. I don't know who will be able to enter after this battle is over. Just as he was thinking about it, the radio suddenly rang again. This time, Yongshan did not explode. Instead, he stood quietly next to the telegraph operator and waited for instructions. After a moment, he looked stunned while holding the paper, and saw a few words written on it. I know, and don't doubt the transmission speed of the radio station, it's hot. Yongshan is numb. Looking at the half-smiling look of the dispatcher on the side, he suddenly shouted, "Did you betray me in front of Mr. Wildfire? You must know that all revolutionary troops have great awe and respect for Mr. Yahiko. Everyone wants to leave a good impression in front of Wildfire. But now, he never imagined that he would be betrayed by one of his own people." The operator chuckled and said, "I told you a little bit, who made you doubt the radio station invented by Mr. Wildfire?" Yongshan clenched his hands, stepped forward and grabbed the opponent's clothes, and said angrily, "I really want to beat you to death." The operator was not afraid at all and said calmly, "Hey, I don't know if I'm dead, how can I contact the base?" Only Yongshan reacted, his expression suddenly changed, and he smiled. He hurriedly helped the other party arrange his clothes, then asked him to sit down, and said with a smile, "You are the treasure of our group now. If you have any requests, just ask." On the other side, the Revolutionary Army headquarters was also stunned by this amazing efficiency. Thinking of the practicality of the radio, everyone's eyes light up. "Mr. Wildfire, our army must have a radio station." Igarashi stood up and begged, lying on the table. "Mr. Wildfire, although I have to sweep the streets now, but I still want to fight for the Special Operations Team." Nagato looked determined. "Several factories under my charge also need to be contacted, so that I don't need to run away often." "Chief, please make an offer," Kakuzu said solemnly. Chapter 92. The speed of modern information transmission is frighteningly low, and transmission basically relies on birds. The sound is basically a roar. It would be wrong to say that ninjas do not need to transmit information in this world. The timeliness of information transmission is the most important part to ensure that ninjas can complete their tasks. But why there was no radio station, mobile phone, or other instant messaging, Yahiko was puzzled. After all, television has been produced, and you can watch performances, TV series, and movies from all over the world. You must know that even if there are no satellites, there should be TV towers. After all, signals need to be transmitted. The TV mode that does not pass through the satellite is the ordinary TV mode. The TV signal is transmitted by the satellite, referred to as the satellite signal, and is called the satellite TV mode. The world now uses the ordinary TV model, where the signal is transmitted by a TV tower and received by an antenna. The protagonist of Hokage's first theatrical version, Yukihime Ninpot, is the princess of the land of snow, Fenghua Koihoki. He was persecuted and ran away to become an extremely famous actor. Naruto was watching Fuka Koihoki's movie in the cinema, so don't think that Hokage is backward, he is just deformed. Looking at everyone's desire for the radio station, it is real. This thing can get in touch with various departments faster, especially during war, it is a powerful tool. With the radio station in advance, Wildfire can stop Yahiko, and the Revolutionary Army cannot sacrifice so many people. These are the lives of revolutionary comrades. Yahiko saw everyone's excitement and quickly calmed down. Don't be anxious. The radio station has been developed for everyone to use. It is currently being produced. In the future, this kind of radio station will definitely be decentralized to grassroots units. When the time comes, you should listen carefully when I train you. Don't worry, leader, I will dig out the heart of anyone who doesn't listen carefully. Kakuzu chuckled. Those bastards won't learn how to do it. I'll beat them until they can't sleep. Igarashi chuckled as he gently touched the radio box. Mr. Wildfire, I will work hard to sweep the streets, please don't forget our special operations team. Nagato was stunned with envy. Get out of here, our intelligence department is the one who needs this kind of thing the most. Konan rarely became strong and snatched things from several men. Yahiko. Only when the wildfire is guaranteed to be there, everyone's mood can be considered stable. This almost scared him into a cold sweat, because everyone was like a wolf seeing flesh. That performance is so eager. Yahoo quickly calmed down and continued the meeting. The radio station has come out, so the intelligence department must make good use of this thing. Currently, none of the 5 major countries have such a thing, let alone monitor radio stations. So I decided to carry out lurking work behind enemy lines in various countries. Currently our revolutionary army is not clear about the existence of revolutionary soil in each country. We don't know when we can carry out revolution and when is the right time for revolution. This is what we are lacking in our work. Konan, you must hurry up and train the latent personnel so that we can carry out the work later. In addition, we must continue to attract progressive people from society. This cannot be stopped. Although we are not going to liberate other areas now, we need to know what is happening in them and we cannot be blind and deaf. We must sit in front of us when doing all the work, so that we can do the subsequent work easily. Also, please continue to closely monitor Hanzo's whereabouts. This is our biggest enemy in the land of rain. Konan nodded seriously after hearing this. How important intelligence work is, this time she fully realized it, while other staff members showed surprise in their eyes. It turns out that they thought radio stations were given priority to equip the troops. But I didn't expect that the current situation of Wildfire is to give priority to the intelligence department to carry out work behind enemy lines. This kind of precautionary planning makes the revolutionary army respected. I can't help but sigh in my heart. Fortunately, Mr. Yahoo is one of our own. If he were an enemy, what would be the consequences? Everyone looked at each other and felt very happy. Yahoo looked at everyone with a smile and chuckled, "Comrades, we still have a lot of work to do, including the training of the revolutionary army and the construction of work behind enemy lines. Political cadres working at the grassroots level, as well as the research and development of new weapons, etc., are all what we need to do. So, please don't slack off." "Yes," everyone said with stern expressions. Wildfire summarizes the recent problems that have arisen in the revolutionary army and has made relevant improvements and remedies. But when he picked up the document he was about to speak on, his expression was still a little solemn. A total of 3,000 regular troops and 300 special forces troops were dispatched in this battle to annihilate 213 ninjas and 2,458 armed personnel of Ishida's unit. Annihilate 3,245 armed personnel and 607 ninjas of Tsuruta division. A total of 627 of our troops were killed on the east and west battlefields, 627 from the regular army, 52 from the Special Operations Brigade, 31 were seriously injured, and countless others were slightly injured. Just looking at the number of casualties on both sides, the Revolutionary Army undoubtedly won a big victory. Billy at nearly 110. But judging from the composition of the Revolutionary Army's own armed personnel, it lost nearly 20% this time. This number is terrible. Everyone was silent at the meeting, and the atmosphere was slightly solemn. Yahiko, Nagato, and Igarashi even lowered their heads and did not dare to see anyone. These are all living lives. The people in the base area believed in the Revolutionary Army so much, but they didn't expect it to be like this. Yahoo lightly knocked on the table and said seriously, "Revolution is not about shouting slogans, revolution is always accompanied by bloodshed and sacrifice. I hope everyone will keep this in mind." A revolution without bloodshed is just playing house, and it is doomed to fail. For these fallen comrades, in addition to the necessary monthly subsidies and the construction of a martyrs' cemetery, I also want to build a revolutionary heroes museum. Wildfire's expression is full of irrefutable words. He said loudly, I want to write down the names of these sacrificed soldiers. All the battles they participated in. Their sacrifices cannot be lost like this, they deserve to be remembered by us and the world. As soon as these words came out, Igarashi, Nagato and others looked excited. Master Yahiko, leave this job to us, and make sure we do it beautifully. Igarashi said eagerly. Mr. Wildfire, leave it to our special forces, we will know ninjutsu, very soon. Nagato said with bright eyes. Mr. Wildfire, I will use my own money to build this museum into a grand one. Kakuzu said solemnly. Please give me flowers. Everyone knows that Mr. Wildfire has not forgotten them, and the Revolutionary Army has not forgotten them. Even though they have sacrificed, everything they did will be remembered forever. Anyone who dares to forget all this must have an absolute ideological problem. Yahiko pressed his hand and said, This Revolutionary Heroes Museum, none of you need to do anything, I will build it myself. I am now trapped here and cannot go to the front line. Can't I still be allowed to build a home for my fallen comrades? Everyone calmed down after hearing this. Yahiko said this from the bottom of his heart. He gently exhaled the turbid air in his chest. I hope everyone realizes that revolution is serious. We will make sacrifices now, and we will make sacrifices in the future. And this number will continue to increase. Not only do you have to sacrifice yourself on the battlefield to be a comrade, but you also have to sacrifice yourself while working behind enemy lines. These people all need us to remember them. And the living people should work harder. There is one last thing, which is the issue of applying to join the Akatsuki organization. As soon as these words came out, everyone's spirits immediately became tense, especially Yahiko, Nagato, and Konan. 0. These three people joined the Revolutionary Army together. Their daily work and ideological consciousness are very good. The application of the three people to join the organization is finally approved. Yahiko took out a document and read directly without any ink, Welcome Comrade Konan to become a member of the Akatsuki organization. Wow! Everyone is excited, the 11th member of the Akatsuki organization has appeared. Yahiko and Nagato looked at Konan with excitement, clapped their hands and wished. Yahiko took out another piece of paper and glanced at Yahiko and Nagato, under the nervous gazes of everyone. Wildfire continued, Welcome Comrade Nagato to become a member of the Akatsuki organization. Nagato looked excited and nodded repeatedly, as if he was dedicating himself to the revolution. And finally Yahiko took out another piece of paper. Needless to say, this must be Yahiko's, but at this time Yahiko thought about it and put the paper down again. In view of Comrade Yahiko's previous performance, it is not in line with the Akatsuki organization application, and it is temporarily abolished. As soon as these words came out, Yahiko's face turned pale. He did not expect that the loss of Hadaxigong would be so great this time. Even Nagato and Konan had already joined the organization and responded to him. Comrade Yahiko, I will reform well. Please organize to see my future performance. Yahiko pursed his lips and said in a deep voice. Yahiko corrected, what you do is not for the organization to see, but to think carefully about what you should do and how to do it. Yes. I know. Yahiko said bitterly. Then he entered the Akatsuki organization and read out the oath. Yahiko looked at the bright red flag in front of him and was slightly stunned. It just so happens that no one has recited the oath before, so let's do it together this time. Then everyone stood in a row, with Wildfire standing in front. I volunteer to join the XIA organization and adhere to organizational discipline. Yahiko took the lead and said. I volunteer to join the XIA organization and adhere to organizational discipline. The rest of the people followed in unison. Keep secrets strictly, not afraid of difficulties, not afraid of sacrifices. Keep secrets strictly, not afraid of difficulties, not afraid of sacrifices. Fight to the end for the revolutionary cause. Fight to the end for the revolutionary cause. 4. Chapter 93. The oath is over. After Yahiko finished speaking, he turned to look at everyone and laughed. Hello, comrades, ha ha ha. Hello, Mr. Wildfire. Everyone also laughed in unison. After Wildfire walked to Konan and Nagato to congratulate him, he said to Nagato, before sweeping the streets, completely clear out the well. The revolutionary army cannot have such a traitor. Yes. I promise to complete the mission. Nagato said with his head held high. Yahiko finally smiled and said, we don't have enough members in the Akatsuki organization now, and there will only be more and more members in the future. When there are tens of thousands of people in the future, we will change to a larger auditorium to hold meetings together. By that time, the revolutionary army will include people from all walks of life. Only in this way will the revolution become more and more successful. What Yahiko said shocked everyone. You must know that only those who can join the Akatsuki organization go through layers of selection. If there are really 10,000 members of the Akatsuki organization, what will the revolutionary army look like? Who can imagine how big the meeting room must be? Yahiko, who was alone, looked at everyone talking and laughing, and listened to the previous oath, and he almost cried. He used to be so proud, but now he feels like he has nothing to rely on for pride. The achievements he had imagined before were not so worthy of nostalgia, and he 043 regretted them in his heart. Sarutobi Hiruzen, as for the Revolutionary Heroes Museum, we already have a memorial monument in Konoha, so it's almost nothing special. Kakashi. Hotaki Sakumo. The population of the Hotaki clan is already sparse, and there are only 2 famous ninjas. One of them is the captain of Anbu, Hotaki Shige. During the Second Ninja War, he violently killed Chiyo's mother-in-law's son and daughter-in-law, which was known as Konoha's White Fang. For such a heroic figure, all his achievements are because he saved his companions in the end and failed to complete the task. In the end, he committed suicide. This is a tragedy. Such a person was not qualified to enter the cemetery, so he only found a small open space in a corner of the cemetery for burial. And no one went to worship. It doesn't matter to him that he goes to the ninja school to learn the spirit of Konoha. This in itself is a sacrilege against sacrificial ninjas. But Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't care at all. Others remained silent, something Kakashi kept in mind. But he, who was born in a village, did not resist or fight for it. This was essentially a form of obedience. Haiden, the leader needs Yahiko's approval to join the organization. It's unreasonable, ha 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 ha. Uzumaki Naruto, what happened? Joining your own organization requires approval from others. Akim Ichichi, I still like Nagato from another world. Terumi Mei, this is really funny, ha ha ha, wasn't the Akatsuki organization established intentionally? Does Ruru need other people's consent? Tsunade, the key point is that everyone else has joined, but he, the leader of first generation, has not joined. It's really funny. Everyone was amused by the Konan trio's application to join the Akatsuki organization. After all, the Akatsuki organization in this world was founded by the 3 of them. Now in another world, it actually requires the consent of others. This difference really surprised everyone. Hoshigaki Kisame, this is the Akatsuki organization from another world. The members who join are not all based on their strength, but on their loyalty to the revolution and their abilities. It's interesting. Scorpion, haha, the Akatsuki organization in this world and the organization in the parallel world are now 2 different organizations, and the members they develop and absorb are different. Deidara, I don't care, I in another world must join the Akatsuki organization, because only in this way can art be realized. For the sake of art, I can unconditionally dedicate myself to revolution. Uchiha Itachi, the two organizations are completely different. The ideals and beliefs of these people are all in the oath. Kakuzu, it seems that Wildfire wants to develop Akatsuki into a large organization that spans the world. Senju Hashirama, there are tens of thousands of people. If it can really be realized, the revolution should be successful. Senju Tobirama, that's almost it. According to the Akatsuki organization's method and strictness in selecting talents, the revolution will have been successful by then. Everyone was shocked by Wildfire's majestic words. But only a few people react to the inner meaning. Tens of thousands of people, if you take 1 out of 10,000, it means tens of thousands of people, which is 100 million. The total population of this world is only a few hundred million. At that time, a single spark can really start a prairie fire. Namikaze Minato, this oath is very interesting. We must adhere to organizational disciplines, strictly guard secrets, not be afraid of difficulties or sacrifices, and strive for the revolutionary cause throughout our lives. This sentence is the simplest and most concise summary of the goals of the Revolutionary Army. If we can do this, and tens of millions of people will join the revolution, the world will really change. Uchiha Madara, this kind of requires a very high level of ideological awareness, but these people who were selected all passed the test. I was surprised that Yahiko didn't join in the end. In my opinion, he is okay. Even as a ninja, he is very qualified and is stronger than most ninjas. Because he has very outstanding leadership skills, if it weren't for Wildfire, he might be the leader of the Revolutionary Army. Fourth Raikage, that's right, but compared to Wildfire, Yahiko is still too young, and the gap is too big. Wildfire is like an elder, and Yahiko is like a child, even though they are the same age. Nagato, I'm glad that Yahiko was scolded by Wildfire. I understand Yahiko. He wouldn't have grown up without experiencing this. This is also a great obstacle to his future development. As for the hands of the Akatsuki organization in this world, they need to approve this matter. After everyone heard the words, they all pricked up their ears and listened carefully. I really want to know what Nagato can say. Nagato continued, Nagato in another world is lucky to have a wise mentor like Wildfire to teach him. In this Akatsuki organization, it doesn't matter whether you are the leader or not. The most important thing is that it is an honor to join. Now I am looking forward to the development of the Revolutionary Army. I want to see whether the revolution is taking the right path or whether I am taking the right path. Daiming Mansion in the Land of Rain. Daimyo Tsuruta felt very comfortable when he returned to his hometown, and the counselor also patted his chest and felt alive. Tsuruta sat on the armchair and said to Ichii below, Ichii, thanks to you this time, I escaped with my life. There is no need to say anything. Let's take a bath first. Then let's have a banquet. Lord Daimyo, is it true that the Revolutionary Army will not attack? He still felt uneasy in his heart. Tsuruta chuckled, the Revolutionary Army wouldn't dare even if Hanzo is here. Hanzo is the great hero of the Kingdom of Rain who is currently resisting foreign enemies. If the Revolutionary Army dares to come in now, it will be against all the people of the Kingdom of Rain. The consequences are unbearable for them. Tsuruta said cowardly again, and I pay for Hanzo's military expenses. Do you think he will protect me? Ha 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 ha. Ichii now finally understands why Tsuruta is not afraid at all when he returns to Damingfu. This is similar to the establishment of a base area by the Revolutionary Army, and the people in the base area support the Revolutionary Army. The people in the daimyo territory support Hanzo as a hero, and Hanzo wants to protect the daimyo because of military expenses. This forms a closed loop. After hearing what Tsuruta said, Ichii was led by his maid towards the bathing place in a daze. Ichijing was stunned all the way. The carved corridors of Daiming Mansion, the small bridges and flowing water, as well as the decorations of lotus flowers and small windmills, all make the well look dizzying. These are so exquisitely made. This environment is really unimaginable. Even the air is filled with the fragrance of flowers. Especially the way the maids in front of him twisted and twisted, it almost made his eyes pop. Master Ichii, we have arrived, please take off your clothes. The maid felt the fiery gaze behind her along the way, but she did not dare to resist. Because the maids of Daming Mansion are often given to some people for fun. It's okay to have some value when you're young, but when you're old and your appearance fades, your tragic fate will be even more painful. Ichijing came to his senses and coughed twice. Before he could speak, the maid took off his clothes on his own initiative. No, I'll do it myself. Ichijing was a little reluctant to let go at first, but after a while he gave up. Because it feels so good not having to do it myself. You don't need to move a finger during the whole process. You just need to hold your hands flat and leave the rest to the maid. Especially when the maid took the initiative to squat down, Ichijing was confused. I have never enjoyed this kind of treatment. Yijing shouted in his heart, this beauty is prettier than the village beauty, I made a lot of money this time. Ichijing howled with excitement in his heart, but on the surface he was a little more reserved and serious, but the light in his eyes could not block his inner thoughts. This soup is so clear, and the temperature is just right. It's really comfortable. Ichii soaked his whole body and groaned in comfort. During the subsequent bath, the maid came in carrying a tray with wine and some fruits on it. Master Ichii, please use 1.9 slowly. The wooden tray is floating in front of the well. Is there something to eat and drink while bathing? Ichijing was trembling in his heart, this is life and enjoyment. What kind of life does Genma have? Your own life is your life. Ichijing tentatively picked up the wine bottle and found that it was not knocked over. Then he poured a glass and gently picked it up and drank. What you feel on your skin is warm clear soup, and what you drink in your mouth is cold wine. This feeling is extremely comfortable. Later, I pinched another grape and put it in my mouth. After eating, when I was worrying about how to spit out the skin and seeds, the maid on the side stretched out her hand to take it. At this moment, daily vanity is greatly satisfied. Power, the charm of power. Ino was shocked, and this was clearly reflected when the maid took the initiative to rub her back. Then a refreshed Ichii was taken to the banquet hall. Tsuruta glanced at the muscular Ichii and clapped his hands. Haha, Ichii, sit down quickly. This banquet is specially set up for you. If you want to eat or drink, someone else is here, bring the gift. Chapter 94. As Tsuruta spoke, his men came up carrying 2 trays, covered with red satin. My dear, this beautiful satin is used to cover things? It's such a waste. Ichii thought to himself. Tsuruta smiled slightly, Ichii, the money I promised you, the house is all here, and there are beauties you can choose for yourself later. At the end of the sentence, Tsuruta chuckled, showing a hint of wretchedness. But Yijing can't take care of so much, let's look at the most affordable one first. Thank you, Lord Daimyo. Ichii couldn't wait to pick up the 2 red silks. I saw one of them was a bunch of keys, with at least a dozen keys on it. This means that the house must be very, very big. There are at least a dozen rooms. The other tray almost blinded him. Because there are gold ingots neatly placed on it. Yijing was stunned to see this. He didn't know how much it was, but he knew a lot. It's very unusual. Thank you for your name. Ichii knelt down sincerely this time. Tsuruta laughs and doesn't take it seriously. He has seen this kind of scene too many times. Let alone Ichii, even Hanzo would bow down in front of all this money. Not to mention he is a little ninja. But on the surface, he still smiled and said, Ichijing, from now on you will be the captain of the guard of my Daming Mansion. We must recruit at least 200 ninjas. The salary has also been readjusted and is higher than before. Money. Power. Yijing was ecstatic in his heart. Don't think it's just a captain of the guard, it also depends on whose captain the guard is, the other person is a famous person. Yujing has been overwhelmed by this series of good news and can't find 22 North. Tsuruta chuckled, clapped his hands and said, "Let's sing and dance." Then the music started playing, and a dozen beauties wearing colorful silks and satins walked in with bare feet, each one of them was extremely enchanting and had a graceful figure. "Ichii, let's have a drink, ha ha ha." Tsuruta invited. Ichii quickly stood up and bowed respectfully at 90 degrees to express his thanks, but before he could sit down, he heard Tsuruta continue, "Ichii, any of these women you like, you can take back. Remember, you can only take one with you. If you take too many, I will feel bad." Yujing's eyes suddenly glowed with gold, can he take them away? True or false? It's true, it's really possible. Which one should I take away? They all look so beautiful. Ichijing was in an anxious mood, stretching his head to see everyone clearly. After confirming the target, he directly hugged the opponent. This scene made the daimyo burst into laughter, and the counselor on the side also laughed. This was too urgent to remember. Then, surrounded by all kinds of delicious food, wine, and beautiful women, Ichijing became intoxicated. In just a few days, Yijing immediately became a different person. The vendors on the street looked arrogant when they saw them, and they even punched and kicked beggars when they saw them. There is also a group of ninjas following him to support himself. "Maid, why don't you take care of the masses and treat the civilians warmly and kindly? What's wrong with me being so arrogant and domineering? The duck snatched from Yujing is full of oil. In the daytime, he is the street cleaning tiger of Daming Mansion. But when I returned to his mansion at night, I was a little cautious. Although the trap was set, he was still afraid. There were ninjas following him during the day, and although they could be there at night, he was afraid that his men would have an affair with his woman, so he drove them all away. I have to say, this is an extremely selfish and suspicious person." Dong dong dong. Ichii knocked on the door drunkenly. The old concierge hurriedly opened the door after seeing it was Ichijing. "Master Ichijing, you are back." Ichijing snorted coldly and kicked the door open, causing the concierge to stumble over. He turned a blind eye and said coldly, "If you dare to open the door so late again in the future, I will beat him to death. Do you hear me?" "Listen, I heard it," the old concierge said in panic. Ichijing snorted coldly and felt comfortable. He just wanted to let his servants know the consequences of offending him. Only in this way can you maintain your authority. "Welcome home, Mr. Ichii." When I returned to the room, the women in the mansion had been waiting for a long time, and they all knelt down to greet me. Ichijing looked at the 4 or 5 beautiful women in front of him and felt extremely proud. This is what he has gained these days. There are some from Damingfu, some that you can see on the street, and some from Kabuki and so on. I have to say that Hino took great pains to collect so many beauties in just a few days. After eating, Ichijing soaked in the bath and drank some wine. Now he is used to taking a bath every day. I glanced at the tray on the shore again. It had the names of various women on it. I called it turning over the signs. I learned this from the famous names. I tried it myself and it works well. Who should I ask to accompany me today? Ichii touched his chin and thought. 1, 2, or together. Ha ha ha, I really haven't tried the feeling of being together, how about giving it a try? A look of excitement appears on Yijing's face. At this moment, a sound of cold water sounded from the darkness. Yijing, you are greedy for enjoyment and betray the revolution, you deserve to die. Who? Yijing's heart thumped, and he quickly jumped out of the bath, rolled up his clothes and looked into the darkness. A pair of purple eyes appeared in his field of vision. Head. Ichii's face turned pale, his body trembled uncontrollably, and he stammered. Shut up! I don't have a brother like you. Nagato walked out of the darkness, clenched his fists, and shouted angrily in a deep voice, "Do you know how many comrades you have killed by betraying the revolution?" Ichijing turned pale with fright, and trembled all over. "Tou, I didn't kill him, I just didn't pass on the information." As soon as Ichii said this, Nagato's blood pressure soared. "You are still quibbling now?" Nagato walked over step by step and gritted his teeth and said, "You were greedy for enjoyment and ignored the tasks assigned to you by the organization, resulting in a lack of intelligence and countless comrades killed and injured. And you fled the battlefield with your name, which caused a major negative impact on the work of the Revolutionary Army. Do you know how many comrades have to sacrifice to make up for this impact? You are telling me now that you did not kill revolutionary comrades?" Nagato knew that the Revolutionary Army would definitely conflict with Hanzo in the future after knowing that the daimyo escaped from the battlefield with the help of Ichii and the subsequent effects. Even if it doesn't happen now, when Hanzo frees up his hands, the Revolutionary Army will be wiped out by the Great Ming Dynasty. I don't know how many comrades will die by then. These are irreparable consequences. Ichijing swallowed hard, took a few steps back and hurriedly said, "Tou, please let me go, please let me go. 1. I have money now. I have money. It's gold. It can be used as military expenses for the Revolutionary Army. Also, I have women. They are all very beautiful, considerate, and versatile. Do you enjoy them? Tou, if you don't enjoy these, your life will be in vain." Ichijing kept throwing out bait, taking out things he regarded as treasures, hoping to get his life back. In his opinion, these things are liked by everyone. Even Nagato, the Revolutionary Army, is no exception. After all, we are all human. Nagato snorted coldly, drew out the black shadow of short sword and moved forward. "Don't call me head. Is your life in vain? I think you are living in vain. I don't remember at all how I became a revolutionary soldier. Did you think about this when you were begging on the street?" Ichii leaned against the wall, pulled out the short sword from behind, and struck hard. At this time, he said fiercely in his eyes, "I have been begging, and they, the small businessmen and hawkers, have bullied me, and the beggars have also bullied me. Now, if I want to beat them, I will beat them, and if I want to rob them, I will rob them. They still have to smile and deliver the things to me. Ha 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 ha." Nagato looked at the vengeful and crazy smile on Ichii's face, and his heart burned with anger. Dang! 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 The short sword in 063's hand is extremely sharp, and the weapons of both sides sparks in the darkness, but Nagato is more flexible and versatile. Puff! Short sword directly cut open Yijing's chest, and the skin and flesh of his body were instantly torn open, and fresh blood flowed out. Ichijing stepped back in pain, kicked back twice in succession, covered his chest and ran towards the far room. "I can't die, I can't die." Ichii gritted his teeth and panicked. "There is still so much wealth that I haven't enjoyed yet. As long as Nagato is lured into the room I decorated, I can kill him." In addition to being arrogant and domineering in the past few days, Yijing also created a trap. This trap was created for the Revolutionary Army. Suddenly a black shadow appears in front. Is it Nagato? No, there are other Special Forces members. Ichii panicked. Hurrying to a stop, the short sword in his hand fell to the ground with a clang, and then he knelt on the ground with a plop. Boom! 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 A dull kowtow sound sounded. While kowtowing, tears streaming down his face, "Brother, please spare me, I will give you all the money, how about I disappear completely from now on? I really don't want to die." The eyes of the two Special Operations team members were cold, and Sanjin suppressed his anger and said, "Because of you, our entire Special Operations team was laughed at. Because of you, our Revolutionary Army will continue to have people sacrifice their lives. You deserve death." There was fear and despair in Ichii's eyes. He turned to look at the approaching Nagato from behind and begged, don't, give me another chance, give me another chance. Head. Kill. Puff. 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 3 knives penetrated Ichii's body instantly, front and back. Nagato looked at Ichii who had expired and said coldly, betraying the revolution, there is no chance. I don't know how long it took, but Ichii's death made the mansion scream. The next day when the daimyo learned about it, he was so frightened that he fell ill. Chapter 95. Daiming Mansion in the Land of Rain. At this time, Daiming Mansion has been surrounded, protected by ninjas on 3 levels inside and 3 levels outside. Whether they are disguised outside the yard, standing inside, squatting on the wall, or hidden in the house. Looking at the density, there are at least more than 100 ninjas. This was recruited by the daimyo immediately after knowing the news that Ichii was killed. He was really afraid of death. At this time, he was lying on the bed, covered with a thick quilt, and his face looked extremely weak. Ahem, where is Hanzo, are you here? Tsuruta said tremblingly, his voice almost inaudible. But fortunately, the room was quiet enough, and the counselors around me still heard it. Slowly stepped forward and said softly, Daimyo, Hanzo has received the news and will come from the front line soon. Unexpectedly, Tsuruta was furious after hearing this. He coughed twice violently, and said with trembling fingers, he is still on the front line. Doesn't he know whose dog he is? I used to be always on call, but now I have become a hero. Do I really think of myself as a person? Why are you protecting those untouchables? Cough cough. Only by protecting me can you make money. They won't starve to death. Tsuruta cursed endlessly. In his opinion, even if all those untouchables are dead, their life is not as valuable as his own. This is simply incomparable. After hearing this, the counselor pursed his lips slightly, Daimyo, although the matter is like this, it's best not to say it in person. After all, Hanzo still has a great status in the hearts of the untouchables, and he also has the support of many ninjas. Tsuruta struggled to sit up. Upon seeing this, the counselor quickly stepped forward to support him. A maid next to him put the quilt behind him to give him a place of support. Tsuruta gasped for a moment, and a lot of cold sweat broke out on his forehead. If I had known better, I shouldn't have supported him in this battle. Now that he has gained prestige among the people, it is very detrimental to us. Tsuruta regrets it. Hanzo has always only cared about the affairs of Rain Shinobi Village, but he did not expect that after the Three Kingdoms War, Hanzo would receive support from more people. This is something he never expected. The counselor sneered in his heart, if you didn't covet other countries' resources and land, would you be like this? If you don't support Hanzo's war, his ninjas would have starved to death long ago. But now he still chuckles and says, Daimyo, you want to suppress Hanzo, I just have a clever plan. Oh? Say it quickly, as long as he is as docile as before. After hearing this, Tsuruta's condition actually improved a bit. This disease caused the daimyo to be killed by the revolutionary army. On the other hand, Hanzo was so angry that he couldn't get enough of it. Now that I know that the counselor has a way to suppress Hanzo, my illness is partially cured. The counselor chuckled, stroking his beard and said proudly, it's very simple to make Hanzo docile, that is, give him money and power. Hey? You are not sick anymore, but you are talking such nonsense. Tsuruta said strangely after hearing this, besides, Hanzo wants to make the Kingdom of Rain peaceful and not be bullied by big countries. This will not do anything to him. The counselor shook his head slightly. When anyone is doing something seriously, of course these are of no use to him, but we must work together. This way, when he takes a break, he will further feel the taste of money and power. Just like during the current war, the daimyo gave him money and power, and he was grateful to you and used it very smoothly. When the war is over, or after it has already ended, he will firmly hold the money and power in the bottle. Because he is used to it. But let's not interfere with him, because money and power have corrupted him. When the war recedes, the prestige of the people will naturally gradually recede, and the corrosion of the ninja will also reduce the strength of his village to a controllable range. And these money and power come from you, daimyo. When the time comes, if he still wants to keep these things, he must come back and be your dog. After the counselor finished speaking, Tsuruda's eyes lit up. Haha laughed and clapped his hands and applauded, okay, that's great. This Hanzo must be a dog, so I can rest assured. With Hanzo, the revolutionary army is not a problem. My safety is not a problem. Hands of the Salamander, this is a plan against me. I didn't even notice it before. It's really abominable. Mifune, Hanzo, a plan is a plan, but it is you who decides the final direction. Don't make excuses for your fall. Hands of the Salamander, humph, my general is defeated. Mifune, your death was entirely due to the loss of faith in the later period, and only selfish desires in your heart. That's why you betrayed everyone. How could Hands of the Salamander be killed by Akatsuki during World War II? At least he could survive. Danzo, money and power. Ha ha ha, what a good thing. Sarutobi Hiruzen, what? Even after you die, you will still be obsessed with being the Hokage? Just give up on this, Danzo. Danzo, Hiruzen, don't think I don't know how much property you made for your Sarutobi clan by using your power during your reign. Although you are a Hokage, you are still a family at heart. Sarutobi Hiruzen, you can slander me, I have a clear conscience. Danzo, Senju Hashirama, Moda, being a Hokage is not that important. It's mainly for the village. I don't really want money or power. Uchiha Madara, damn it, if you don't want it, just give it to me. Why can't I be Hokage? That's nice to say. Senju Hashirama, you are really not suitable to be a Hokage. You are too extreme and I don't trust you. Uchiha Madara, too extreme? You didn't force me to lead the Uchiha clan into a clan that everyone fears. Am I incapable of it? Senju Tobirama, he's capable, but he's a little nervous. Uchiha Madara, put it off, you Senju clan are the ones who are crazy. Orochimaru, I was once lost in the past, and I was quite Hokage, but then I understood that only eternal life is my pursuit. Money and power are just garbage. Ha 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 ha, that's ridiculous, you guys still can't understand it now. There has always been a struggle for power between villages. Hokage ninjas are accompanied by fights overtly and covertly. The same goes for other villages, but there is no specific description. To say that money and power are unattractive to people is a lie. Empty talk. After all, there are very few people who become saints. Daiming Mansion of the Land of Fire. The daimyo of the Kingdom of Wind, isn't money and power what we pursue? Let alone a mere village, even we came here by stepping on other people's corpses. Daimyo of the Land of Earth, he, you don't shy away from it, but it is true. People are selfish after all. There are almost no people who can resist these two things. Daimyo of the Kingdom of Water, hey? You said if Wildfire achieves a successful revolution, don't look at me, I said if. If his revolution succeeds, will Wildfire give up his power, status, and money? Daimyo of the Country of Thunder, humph, how is that possible? Even the shadow of the village will not give up easily, let alone the revolutionary army that he has established with his own hands. It's not that I underestimate him. Is he Wildfire a saint? Definitely not. He's not a sage of six paths either. The Fire Country daimyo frowned and said softly, don't you think that although this counselor's approach is right, it also makes Hanzo lose his minions? After hearing this, everyone lowered their heads and thought. You mean, because you went too far? Asked the daimyo of the Kingdom of Water. It's good to do well, there's no problem. I think it's okay, Hanzo should be a dog, and ninjas are destined to be dogs. After hearing this, the daimyo of the Land of Fire shook his head. Ninjas should be docile, but not too docile. If you are too docile, you will lose your force, and force is what guarantees our safety. I hope Tsuruta won't give Hanzo too much power and money. In this case, is the corrupted Hanzo still an opponent of the revolutionary army that continues to develop day and night? As soon as these words came out, Daming Mansion fell into silence. The daimyo of the Kingdom of Wind said, "No, Hanzo is very powerful in this period. Even the Akatsuki in this world killed Hanzo in Konoha for many years." The daimyo of the Country of Fire thought for a while and said, "The specific time is not clear. After all, the Country of Rain wants to isolate itself and not have contact with other people." But when Konoha held the Chunin exam, the forehead protector still had 4 stripes, which shows that Hanzo was still there at that time. Maybe he will die in the next few years. If Jiraiya is here, he will definitely make it clearer. When he went to Rain Shinobi village to investigate, the forehead protector on the forehead of the ninja had already been marked with a horizontal line as a sign of rebellion. At this time, the 4 bars have become the remnants of the former Rain Shinobi village, and those with the symbol of rebellion have become the mainstream. In other words, Hanzo should have died in the few years after the Chunin exam. It should be around Konoha 64. But from God's perspective, during the Chunin exam, Konan asked Nagato what to do if he received an invitation to take the exam. At this time, Nagato replied that he was participating in disguise. So before the Chunin exam, Hanzo had died, and the time was before Konoha 64. But in any case, Hanzo lived for nearly 20 more years after the Second Ninja War. After hearing this, the great name of the Kingdom of Thunder said, Hanzo also lived for a long time and was killed when he was old. This also shows that the revolutionary army in another world had to wait for so long. After all, Hanzo's strength is still there and he won't die so easily. The name of the Fire Country shook his head and said in a heavy voice, "If there were no wildfires in another world, it might take this long. But there are wildfires in the other world." With his mental capacity, how could he wait 20 years? I'm sure he can't wait for 10 years. Let's see, the companion in the other world may not live long. Chapter 96. Not long after the counselor and the daimyo finished talking, Hanzo came to the daimyo mansion. He came from the front line, and the smell of blood still lingered on his body. "Lord Daimyo, there is a war on the front line, so," Hanzo said after entering the room. Tsuruta now knew how to face Hanzo and no longer put on a bad face. Although he still looked sick, his anger was obviously gone. "Ah, Hanzo is here, needless to say, sit down quickly." Hanzo felt a little relieved when he saw Tsuruta's enthusiastic expression. Although he has military power, the one who pays for the military expenses is a daimyo. If he offends him, he will not fight. On the surface, it is a cooperative and equal relationship, but in fact there are differences. Tsuruta thought about his previous discussion with the counselor, and secretly resented it. "You came to see me dressed like this? I don't know how to salute yet, I don't even know the most basic manners." But on the surface, he still smiled, "Thank you Hanzo for your hard work, the Land of Rain is really difficult." After hearing this, Hanzo clasped his hands tightly and lowered his head with shame on his face. "Daimyo-sama, these big countries are really bullying people too much. In this war, I will definitely let them know that the Country of Rain is not easy to mess with." Tsuruta nodded, feeling even more irritable. Did he not know that his bodyguard died yesterday? Why are you still thinking about his foreign wars now? Isn't my life life? When the counselor saw that Tsuruta was about to have an attack, he quickly signaled with his eyes, and then Tsuruta suppressed his anger. Tsuruta thought to himself, "Okay, I don't know who the master is, so I'll make it clear." He groaned softly, "Hanzo, the revolutionary army that has emerged now, you know, the 2 nobles who opposed me are dead, you know, and my captain of the bodyguard is dead, you are 55, don't you know that too? Hanzo nodded after hearing this, I know these. They are said to have a kind of firearm that can be used without chakra. And the damage caused is very high. Tsuruta snorted coldly in his heart, you know everything, so what kind of firearms do you have now? Have you missed the point? Seeing this, I can only remind you again, Hanzo, now you are supporting the foreign war of the Kingdom of Rain. This battle must be fought well. In addition, this revolutionary army makes me unable to eat, and even my body is exhausted and sick. Tsuruta didn't speak clearly, but his meaning was clearly expressed. Hanzo finally understood this time, the daimyo wanted to solve the problem of the revolutionary army by himself. But now that the ninjas of the 3 kingdoms are pressing down on the border, there is no time to deal with the revolutionary army. And based on the description of his men returning from injury, this revolutionary army should not be underestimated. If it becomes 1 versus 4 again, the situation that we are struggling to maintain will collapse. Now he has to quickly deal with Konoha's ninjas before he can have a chance to breathe. Lord Daimyo, I can negotiate with the revolutionary army so that they cannot conflict with us during the war in the Land of Rain. Hanzo said solemnly. At this time of internal and external troubles, if the revolutionary army dares to cause trouble, it will be against the civilians and ninjas of the entire Land of Rain. After finishing speaking, seeing Tsuruta still looking at him, Hanzo said in a deep voice. In addition, I will send the ninjas from Rain Shinobi village to protect the daimyo. Hearing this, Tsuruta finally felt relieved, his complexion also improved a lot, and he lifted the quilt. Ha 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 ha, Hanzo, I feel relieved with your words. In this way, I will allocate some more military expenses to you, which can be used to buy endurance at Rain Shinobi village. And you can recruit all the ninjas in the Kingdom of Rain. Then absorb useful people, and the village will grow. I will pay for this part of the cost. The village usually trains ninjas by itself, and will only recruit them in emergencies. At this time, if the cost of recruiting ninjas is not negotiated with the daimyo, all costs will be borne by the village. How can the poor Rain Shinobi village bear this? Now Tsuruta has spoken personally, giving money to people, and this is not over yet, he continued. And I will let other nobles in the territory build momentum for you. You are the hope and hero of the Kingdom of Rain. You are the demigod of the Kingdom of Rain. Hanzo is not interested in Tsuruta giving him money and rights. After all, he is not fighting for the daimyo, but for peace. To not be bullied. But I am still very happy. After all, with these, I am more confident on the front line. The subsequent campaign really made his heart beat a little faster. After people solve the most basic survival problems, their subsequent needs become more spiritual, and prestige is one of them. Hanzo, the name of demigod, although the ninjas of the Land of Rain call it secretly, but not many people know it. Now that the name has been rectified, that is a great thing. Who doesn't want to be admired by thousands of people, and who doesn't want to be known by others? Hanzo lowered his head and said in a deep voice, "Thank you, daimyo. I will rush to the Revolutionary Army headquarters to discuss it clearly with their leader. Let the daimyo no longer have to worry about anything." Tsuruta laughed, "I feel relieved that you are here, Hanzo." After Hanzo left, the counselor came forward and smiled, "The daimyo is really good at tricks, so Hanzo will definitely work for you. When military expenditures are reduced in the future, he, a demigod respected by thousands of people, will also ask you to give money, otherwise his status will not be guaranteed." Tsuruta laughed heartily, "That's how it should be. What kind of demigod? He can't become a demigod without me." The counselor thought for a while and said, "In addition to military expenses and god-making expenses, unless a daimyo really has to use his private treasury. How is it possible? Taxes will be increased on all this. What money do I have?" Tsuruta said quickly. Then he touched his chin and smiled, the good day to increase taxes is here again, ha 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 ha. Just after the vigorous god-making movement in the Kingdom of Rain started, even Wildfire at the Revolutionary Army headquarters got the news. Yahiko looked at the secret message on the radio and laughed. After the meeting between the daimyo and Hanzo, the reputation of the demigod suddenly rose, and it spread to the 5 major countries. This move is really impressive, CCFH. Yahiko sighed, thinking he was guarding against the Revolutionary Army. Unexpectedly, I didn't know that the target of the name was not me at all, but Hanzo. I have to say it was strange. Konan frowned after reading the message. Then he let out a sigh of relief. Fortunately, I didn't get into a fight with the daimyo and Rain Shinobi. If I had caught up with it at this time, the reputation of our revolutionary army is ruined. Konan is right. Now when the reputation is at its peak, the revolutionary army is still causing trouble, so it has become a bit bad. Yahiko thought for a while and shook his head. No matter how the daimyo and Hanzo discussed it, we can't fight now. Of course, there are some tasks that we need to do. We need to accumulate strength. But, what is Hanzo like? I still want to meet him in person. Konan said in surprise, do you want to meet Hanzo? Well, we are still stuck on paper about Hanzo's impression. This is not good. We need more detailed research. Yahiko thought for a while. He is the cornerstone of maintaining the daimyo's rule. If you don't understand this cornerstone, how can you overthrow him? Just then there was a knock on the door. I noticed that it was Nagato who walked in. I saw that he was still holding a broom in his hand and looked nervous. Something big must have happened. Mr. Wildfire, members of the Special Forces Brigade discovered hands of the salamander while patrolling the base area. Konan looked at Nagato in disbelief. Are you sure? This is such a coincidence. You know, just when Wildfire here said he wanted to see Hanzo, this Hanzo appeared. Wildfire calmed down and thought for a while, then smiled and said, it seems that there is something else in the conversation between Hanzo and the daimyo. Konan, the intelligence work needs to continue in depth. Yes. Konan replied solemnly. Nagato said nervously, what about now? Yahiko waved his hand, don't be so nervous, isn't it Hanzo? He came alone. Yes, Hideaway Weiss doesn't take Special Forces members seriously. Nagato thought for a while and replied. Yahiko stood up and laughed, then walked slowly to the window and looked at the houses and woods outside. Let the people from the Special Operations Brigade come back too. Since Hanzo wants to see it, let him see it to his heart's content. But what if he attacks civilians? Nagato said solemnly. Yahiko shook his head gently. Hanzo is now a great hero of the Kingdom of Rain. He is a demigod. How could he attack civilians? We'll wait here for him to come. Hanzo on the other side initially had no idea what kind of base area or what kind of revolutionary army. In his opinion, daimyo have ruled for hundreds of years and will continue to do so in the future. But when he walked into the base area, he discovered that it was obviously different from the daimyo territory. The first thing he felt was the atmosphere, something invisible, but it really existed. Farmers in the daimyo territory have their heads bowed and bent all day long, feeling out of breath. But the farmers in the base area sat together in small groups and chatted after finishing their work. What they wanted to talk about was the harvest and their own land issues. One person says that the harvest from his own land is fine, but if a group of people says so, there will be a problem. In addition, their faces are filled with happy smiles and eyes exuding hope. This makes Hanzo wonder, shouldn't farmers be the hardest working people? Why do they seem so satisfied now? Yes, it is satisfying. Hello, I would like to ask, do we have fields here? Hanzo couldn't help but ask, I just heard you say. Haha, you are a foreigner, let me tell you, every farmer in our base area has his own land. A farmer smoked a cigarette and laughed. And there is no need to pay for food. It's strange, ha ha ha. This is because the revolutionary army thinks that the environment in our country of rain is bad, so that's why. Tisk, let's see what you can do, but why is the harvest not as good as mine? No way, Dolan, let's compete. Compare, way. After Hanzo left, they looked at each other and ran quickly towards the village on the muddy ground. Tell that person quickly. The village cotter said there is a strange stranger, it seems to be a ninja. Luffy, the former farmer, walked quickly. This ninja is asking all kinds of questions. He is not a serious person at first glance. You must be careful. Yes, you are wearing a mask, who is a serious person wearing a mask? Chapter 97. Although Hanzo is a ninja, he doesn't understand things in the countryside. But he also knows the importance of land. Just like how big the Rain Shinobi village is, these are all approved by the daimyo. He couldn't imagine that every farmer here actually had his own field. According to his understanding, the farmers in the daimyo's territory seemed to be farming for the daimyo. I have never heard of anything like fields. But the smiles and hope on the faces of several farmers in the base area were deeply imprinted in his mind. Then when I entered the village, I found that there were ninjas following me, but I didn't pay attention. Did you discover me so soon? Hanzo muttered and continued walking inside. The vendors and people buying and selling everywhere looked very lively. There are also people wearing red armbands who are maintaining order and handling disputes. You can almost see people begging on the street. This makes him look very fresh and surprising. In the daimyo territory, even in the market there are not many people. After all, there are not many rich people, and there are groups of people begging. After all, in this country, it's normal to have beggars. After all, many people don't have enough to eat. Why does this place feel like it's thriving? It's amazing. Hanzo muttered, but the daimyo's side is lifeless. Also, what about suffering? He was extremely puzzled. Finally, he saw a ragged passerby lying motionless on the ground at the intersection. This made Hanzo finally heave a sigh of relief. Ah, luckily there is, otherwise I would have almost doubted whether I was in the land of rain. Hey, who do you think is a beggar? Unexpectedly, the other party suddenly got up from the ground and asked ferociously. You? What are you? You, let me tell you, my name is Mayumi, I am a revolutionary. I am now completing the task of remembering the bitter and thinking of the sweet assigned by the political commissar, Mayumi snorted. At first glance, you are not from the base area. I used to be a beggar, but the revolutionary army didn't mind that I smell bad or that I don't know ninjutsu. They taught me how to read. Now I am the squad leader of the revolutionary army. 1. After Hanzo listened, he seemed not to understand, and murmured, aren't you from the land of rain? Aren't you from the daimyo? Why do you say? Before he finished speaking, everyone around him turned to look at Hanzo. Mayumi snorted coldly. Although her attitude was a bit fierce before, it was by no means powerful, but now it is different. A cold light burst out from her eyes. This made Hanzo frown. This kind of aura is something he only sees in ninjas who have been tempered for a long time. And he clearly felt that there were no traces of chakra on the other party's body. Mayumi said word by word, I am from the land of rain, but I am not from the daimyo. I am from the revolutionary army. When I was selling the house and land, the daimyo was there and the Kuei clan was there. When I couldn't eat, they wanted to kick me to death. It was the revolutionary army and Mr. Wildfire who never abandoned me and gave me the goal and courage to live. Okay. Everyone around shouted in unison after hearing this. They all pointed at Hanzo. I think you are also a ninja, and you should be a good person in the revolutionary army. An ant said. The revolutionary army is our own team. You have come to the right place. As long as you are willing to work, you will not starve to death. You, don't leave, keep living here, and you can honor your ancestors after joining the revolutionary army. After hearing this, Hanzo hurriedly walked out. Maid, if he continues to listen, he will forget the purpose of this trip. Also join the revolutionary army. What on earth is going on with the people here? Hanzo was a little confused, but he felt that this place seemed good, but he was conflicted in his heart. The country should be governed by daimyo. Wildfire will not do. He then stopped and walked, looking at the various large character posters posted along the street. The oppressed common people unite and resolutely oppose the exploitation and oppression of the daimyo nobles. Grasp the revolution and promote production. If you are not afraid of hardship, you are definitely not afraid of death. Raise vigilance and strengthen combat readiness. Liberate the country of rain. Crazy, crazy. Hanzo said angrily as he looked at these slogans and posters. If you didn't care about your own identity, you would definitely bulldoze the slogans on these walls. At the same time, many nobles and daimyo in the Diaming Mansion of the Land of Fire were also angry. Compared to Hanzo, these people began to curse directly. What does it say here? The oppressed civilians unite to oppose exploitation and oppression, the daimyo of the Kingdom of Water said in disbelief. What is this? Ah! Whether I have exploited or oppressed you, you have to tell me. It's really lawless. The daimyo of the Kingdom of Thunder slammed the table and said angrily, seize the revolution, promote production, and liberate the Kingdom of Rain. Wildfire really wants to mess up the world. I have seen through it all, the world cannot be stable as long as he is around. He is the biggest cancer. The daimyo of the Land of Earth said coldly, raise vigilance and strengthen combat readiness, the heavy life army never relaxes. By the way, he remembers the bitterness and remembers the sweetness. He also distributed the fields to farmers, he really did that. I used to think he was just showing off and burning the contract. I didn't expect that the wildfire was really dividing the fields. This is the first time I've seen such a stupid person. Everyone was angry. It is said that what is heard is false and what is seen is true. In the past, I just listened to Yahoo's advice. We need to carry out an agrarian revolution and reduce taxes, but how many of them are serious about it? Whoever becomes a noble does not lie on the bodies of common people to eat flesh and drink blood. Unexpectedly, there really is such a person who is not greedy for money or enjoyment. I really gave away what I got. Wildfire is not easy, Tsuruta is in big trouble, the Fire Country daimyo said solemnly. What? Hanzo can't stop him, asked the daimyo of the Kingdom of Wind. With Hanzo's current prestige, I can stop him for a while, but I won't be able to resist him in the end. The Fire Country daimyo affirmed. Don't you see the determination in these people's eyes? Whoever wants to destroy their current life, they will fight to the death. How can a person who sees the light endure the darkness all the time? This is the case for the people in the base area. They feel that they have arrived in a new world. How could it be possible for someone to take everything back so easily? The daimyo of the Kingdom of Thunder said angrily, Hanzo and Tsuruta are also fools. After seeing this, if they don't destroy them quickly, they are still fighting Konoha, Sand Shinobi, and Rock Shinobi. Please give me flowers. I'm not talking about you. If you in the other world knew about this situation, would you continue to attack the Kingdom of Rain? It's me, the first one to stop fighting. I don't know who suddenly burst into laughter. The daimyo of the Kingdom of Wind sneered, they are a mystery to the authorities. Even if they know about it, so what, the war cannot be stopped. If I knew this, I might attack even more fiercely. The daimyo of the Land of Earth nodded, this is the Kingdom of Rain's own business. What does it have to do with us? Why don't you beat up the drowned dog after knowing it? The daimyo of the Country of Fire shook his fan, I might help Wildfire, so that he can make the Country of Rain more chaotic. Everyone looked at each other and laughed. I am watching the movie now, so I have a deep feeling about Wildfire and know that he is scary. But if you didn't know all this, would you still be like this? Of course not, they will seize every opportunity and want to bite off 2 pieces of meat from the Kingdom of Rain. In the bright room, Wildfire and Hanzo are sitting opposite each other. Are you Wildfire? Hanzo looked at such a young boy in front of him in disbelief. 0. I can't believe that he is the Wildfire doctor who founded the Akatsuki organization and led the revolutionary army that everyone respected. Yahiko smiled and said, exactly, my age may have given you some illusions, but I am true to my word, ha ha ha. Yahiko burned a pot of tea, brewed it, poured 2 cups, and handed one of them to Hanzo. The faint fragrance of tea emanates from the cup. It makes me feel so hot and relaxed. Hanzo is now certain that the person opposite is Wildfire. This calm attitude and implicit smile make people feel confident. Well, let me tell you the truth. After Hanzo drank a cup of tea and thought about it, he said firmly, the Revolutionary Army is your subordinate. I hope you will not cause trouble during the foreign war in the Kingdom of Rain. It's a completely commanding and overbearing tone. Unfortunately, Yahiko is a person who loves soft things but not hard words. The more you want to be tough with me, the harder I will be with you. Boom. Yahiko picked up the tea and took a sip, then placed it on the table and made a sound. At this moment, Hanzo felt a sense of oppression coming over him. This is a feeling that I didn't even experience when facing the daimyo Tsuruta. Hanzo couldn't help but become more serious. Yahiko chuckled, you asked me not to cause trouble, so I won't make trouble, and you still hope. What do you hope for? The Revolutionary Army has things to do. You can't stop it even if you want to. Do you think you are a demigod now that you have become a demigod? What a trick! Hanzo's face turned slightly red. Fortunately, he was covered by a mask and was not so embarrassed. He is used to enjoying the admiration and respect of everyone, but suddenly someone is going against him, which makes him very uncomfortable. Hanzo said in a cold voice, there are very few people who dare to talk to me like this. You are very handsome. Yahiko smiled softly and didn't take it seriously, you've gotten used to it after hearing it too much. Why should others follow you without any objection? You are too arrogant. Hanzo, who was suspicious by nature, suddenly looked up to the sky and laughed twice after hearing this. Awesome, you are really the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Mr. Wildfire. Let's talk formally now. B. Chapter 98. Hanzo, who is suspicious by nature, has been testing him from the very beginning. Compared to the daimyo, a big benefactor, no matter how equal their natural status is, they are actually a bit different in their bones. This cannot be changed. But when facing ninjas, his or their superior mentality will arise spontaneously. Yahiko shook his head slightly after hearing this. Tell me, what are you talking about? For people like Hanzo, who are suspicious and aloof by nature, Wildfire is disgusted from the bottom of his heart. Even if he becomes the hero of the Kingdom of Rain on the surface, it will not change his feelings towards him. So I asked directly because I didn't want to waste any nonsense. Hanzo stared at the Wildfire in front of him slightly, and after a moment he said solemnly, in the Kingdom of Rain, I have wiped out many mobs. Hey! Wildfire said noncommittally, then what? Hanzo stared into his eyes and said, I have never seen an army as organized and disciplined as yours. It doesn't look like a mob. What's so strange about this? From the beginning, the definition of our revolutionary army is not a mob, but an army. Yahiko said firmly. Hanzo smiled slightly and said, since we are an army, why don't we defend the country and start a civil war instead? Shout, you are here to join me in 000 for moral kidnapping. Now that the Kingdom of Rain is like this, do you still have the nerve to kidnap me? Wildfire exchanged words with each other. Rain Shinobi Village is the core force to defend the country. Why did Rain Shinobi Village start a war without caring about the civilians living in dire straits? Or the Three Kingdoms War? Hanzo snorted coldly, the Kingdom of Rain is located between the fire, wind, earth, and the three kingdoms. Whether it is a daily ninja pursuit or a small-scale ninja confrontation among the three kingdoms, they are all fighting in the Kingdom of Rain, and they don't take the Kingdom of Rain seriously at all. There are conflicts between big countries. Why should they be resolved in the Kingdom of Rain? Shouldn't this teach the arrogant big countries a lesson? Hanzo is telling the truth. Battles between major powers generally do not choose to be fought in their own country. They are very interesting and will choose to solve it in other countries. And the country of Rain is a very good place. In this way, no matter what ninjutsu is used or where the fight occurs, no brick or tile or person in your country will be harmed. It plays a very good protective role in the stability of the country and the safety of the people. But on the contrary, the Kingdom of Rain suffered. Ninja fights and killings occurred every 3 days, and civilians had no guarantee of life at all. What's more, accidental injuries, accidental killings, and the destruction of houses and farmland may occur. As for ex post compensation, don't even think about it. Will people in one country care about the deaths and losses of other countries? They completely treat the country of Rain as a public toilet. Come whenever you want, leave whenever you want. Yahiko smiled contemptuously after hearing this. Do you have to challenge the three kingdoms to teach you a lesson? It would be better to cut off one of his fingers than to hurt him. You frequently provoke wars just to show off your power. You want to tell the world that your strength is already at the top of contemporary ninjutsu. In the final analysis, it's your vanity that's causing trouble. BD. Hanzo shouted angrily, and slapped his palm on the table with a liquid sound. Whoa! The black shadow shook, and Kakuzu suddenly appeared beside Yahiko, looking coldly at Hanzo. There is a tendency to go up and take action if there is a disagreement. Yahiko pushed Kakuzu away calmly. Go down, there's nothing going on here, it's just that Hanzo is a little out of control. 1. But, it's better for me to be here. Kakuzu stared at Hanzo with his green eyes and hummed. Since we are talking, there will definitely be disagreements. It is normal to quarrel. Let's get down with it. Yahiko chuckled, don't worry, the fire of the revolution has been sown. Even if I die now, the revolution will not end. Light and warmth will always make people yearn for it. Kakuzu looked determined when he saw the wildfire, and disappeared after forming a seal. Hanzo lost control of his emotions entirely because Yahiko's words spoke to his heart. In the beginning, the war was launched so that the Kingdom of Rain would no longer be bullied. But as the war progressed, he relied on his strong strength to experience unprecedented support. This kind of support and reverence fascinated him. Later on, it became more and more intense, and I could hardly control my desire, so I started the Three Kingdoms War 1v3 forcefully. Hanzo folded his hands on the desk and looked at the wildfire, and said word by word, everything I do is for peace. Only by showing force to a big country can we win respect. Only through war can small countries have a place to survive, otherwise the situation will only become more miserable. Wildfire agrees with the first half of the sentence. He also believes that this was Hanzo's original intention. That's why I gained support from ninjas and even civilians. But in the second half of the sentence, only through war can small countries have a place to survive. Wildfire does not agree. To achieve peace, it is not necessarily the only way to go through war. This is too one-sided. Yahiko said in a deep voice. Too young. Hanzo said. This tone and words seemed to be mocking Wildfire for not knowing anything. Yahiko didn't take it seriously at all and smiled softly. If nothing else, just take our neighboring country, the country of grass, as an example. This country is about the same size as our rain country. It is sandwiched between the earth country and the fire country, and is not far from the wind country. Why doesn't such a country have so many wars? 1. The damage they suffered from the war was much smaller than ours. Do you know why? Hanzo looked surprised after hearing this. He didn't expect Wildfire to know so much. Then I thought about something, and then showed a look of contempt on my face. The country of grass is a country of grassroots. This kind of country has no hope. He did not deny the fact that there were fewer wars in the kingdom of grass than in the kingdom of rain. It's just my heartfelt contempt for the country of grass. The geographical environment of the country of grass is as bad as that of the country of rain. But how can the country of grass survive without a powerful ninja like Hanzo? How can it survive? It relies on geographical location to exchange information between the three countries of fire, earth, and wind, and exchanges information for survival opportunities. And he often plagiarizes ninjutsu from other countries for his own use. This is such a country. Although it has been invaded by the Take Torai clan, the overall wars are much less than that of the Rain country. Yahiko pulled up the corner of his lips and laughed. Although what the country of grass does is a bit shameful, it specializes in intelligence from the three kingdoms and does a good job of providing demand. This is also the main reason why he can survive. Hanzo snorted coldly, I barely survive by providing needs for a big country. What's there to be proud of? Compared to small countries, big countries are always greedy and threatening, and this will never change. Only war can wake them up. Hanzo's theory of threat from a great power is correct in Wildfire's view. Big countries are always greedy. They are like a giant bullying the weak around them. But Wildfire talked about a way for the country of grass to achieve relative peace and provide demand, but was despised by Hanzo. This Hanzo has great strength and only wants to use war to solve problems. Yahiko boiled the water and made another pot of tea. There are many ways and means to achieve peace, such as vertical and horizontal alliances, mutual cooperation, etc. And the war you are talking about, in my opinion, is to provoke a war arrogantly when you are weak, which seems very overestimating your own capabilities. And the current country can no longer withstand the torment, and some places have been completely reduced to ruins. If you did not provoke the Three Kingdoms War, but only chose one of them to prove yourself, and the daimyo restored people's livelihood, the people of the Rain Kingdom would not live on the edge of life and death every day. 1. You are too eager for quick success and only want to obtain resources through plunder, instead of developing yourself. Hanzo's face is serious. He doesn't know what needs to provide to achieve a balance. He is better at 5. But he understood Yahiko's words. And it hits deep in my heart. He said in a deep voice, the country of rain is barren. If we don't plunder, how can we have the resources to meet the needs of the civilians and the needs of the country? How can we develop? He raised his hands and looked around, as if he couldn't see anything valuable around him. Yahiko picked up a cup of tea, took a sip, and did not answer directly, tolerate while developing, know your shame and then be brave. This is the way to rise. No matter how harsh it sounds, when your own strength is not enough, you have to endure it. No matter how others bully you, you must endure. Only in this way can you have the possibility of a comeback. Yahiko said in a deep voice, with a hint of memory in the corner of his eyes. As for your behavior, when the country is not strong and still provokes big countries everywhere, you are just looking for death. Yahiko saw that Hanzo wanted to say something more, 2.6, and directly reached out to interrupt. Don't talk to me about threats from major powers, only talk about using force. I can try to guess now, you must solve one side of this war first, otherwise you won't be able to survive. Because the Kingdom of Rain simply does not have so much capital to fight this war. And the daimyo will only increase taxes. Hanzo, who wanted to get angry after hearing this, felt a thump in his heart. Because Wildfire is so right, even though the daimyo has given him military support, it is still too stretched to face 3 countries at the same time. We can only fight a big battle with Konoha first, and then we can better deal with the other 2 countries after one side is eliminated. Now after a conversation, he no longer dares to underestimate the young man in front of him. Because he is so wise, his eyes seem to be able to see through everything. After a moment, Hanzo said solemnly, I came here for only one purpose, and that is to ask the Revolutionary Army not to conduct military activities during my foreign war. Now after talking with you, I have another request. Chapter 99. Hanzo is now on the road of demonstrating force, and there is no way back. Don't say that you don't understand the other peaceful ways, Yahiko said, even if you understand that you have to bite the bullet and go on now. He simply threw these things behind him and begged in a deep voice. Hanzo now no longer has the domineering and aloof attitude he had before he came. Instead, at least put Wildfire in the same position as him. Hanzo continued, my other request is, please ask the Revolutionary Army to join me in fighting against the foreign ninjas of the great powers. After hearing this, Yahiko almost spit out a mouthful of tea. Fight against the ninjas of the 3 major countries with you? You started the war yourself, and you want me to handle your aftermath? Yahiko gave Hanzo a strange look and really wanted to ask him how he asked such a childish question. First point, I can promise you that during your external confrontation and no one invades, our Revolutionary Army will not take any military action. Forget the second point. Hanzo nodded slightly after hearing this, and then said, I know the strength of the Revolutionary Army and the newly developed arms and weapons. It is very lethal and can also be used by civilians. Even when facing genin, Shinin has an advantage to a certain extent. If the Revolutionary Army joins, it will surely quickly let the world see the power of the Kingdom of Rain. Hanzo said in a deep voice, but Yahiko sneered. Moral kidnapping didn't work before, but now you start pleading? Yahiko stood up with a slight smile and said 22, you are responsible for the current situation in the Rain country. Why should I lead the civilians to save the ninjas and daimyo? Don't talk to me about the country's position. If you have the country of Rain and the civilians of the country of Rain in your hearts, then stop the war and reduce exorbitant taxes. Can you do it? You can't do it. You will only continue to increase taxes. What kind of fire escape fees are the daimyo charging? Do these fees need to be levied? It's hard to catch fire in the land of Rain. Yahiko said every sentence loudly. Hanzo's cheeks on the side were tense. At this time, he was glad that he was wearing a mask. Otherwise, I don't know how ugly my face would be. After a moment, Hanzo clenched his fists and said angrily in a deep voice, what does the tax collected by the daimyo have to do with me? I am a ninja. Ah. It doesn't matter. Wildfire smiled contemptuously. Because of the war you provoked, the taxes in the Kingdom of Rain have increased by an unknown amount in the past year or two. Under various clever excuses, civilians cannot survive. As for the money collected, part of it is used for military expenses to support your war, and the other part is used by the daimyo to line their own pockets. The daimyo you protect is using the time you provoked the war to make money for wanton reasons. This is really the most ridiculous thing in the world. The daimyo of his own country actually took advantage of this time to take advantage of the people's determination to resist and steal money. Hitsuruta is simply a vampire, and you Hanzo are the fangs. You ninjas are the protective umbrella of the exploitative forces of the daimyo. The sound of Wildfire is deafening. Hanzo has been completely stunned by this. This is completely inconsistent with his ninja thoughts and the path he wants to take. But there is nothing he can do about it. Because in his mind, life has always been like this under the rule of the daimyo. After a while, Hanzo stood up and looked at the Wildfire that had not yet formed its height, only the position of his chest. For some reason, he felt in his heart that he was the shorter one. Hanzo frowned and hummed, Wildfire, the path of the Revolutionary Army is different from mine, but I hope you will keep your promise. Don't worry, our Revolutionary Army will do what they say. Yahiko replied, and Sand Shinobi, Rock Shinobi hope you will stop them as soon as possible and defeat them. Now they have a tendency to rob civilians. The revolutionary base area is divided into south and north. The north is adjacent to the Kingdom of Earth, and the south is adjacent to the Kingdom of Wind. At the beginning, the troops of the two countries were only targeting ninjas, not civilians, or the revolutionary army, but now the war is getting harder and harder, there is a serious shortage of supplies, and the army has also looted the wealth of civilians in the land of rain. Well, I will take care of it. Hanzo seemed to have something hard to say later, and spoke after taking a moment to collect the pictures. I heard that the Revolutionary Army's weapons are very powerful, so 1. So I want to purchase a batch of arms. This kind of pistol and grenade that can be used without chakra was shocked after Hanzo studied it. This is especially suitable for Rain Shinobi. Because Rain Shinobi has always been famous for his assassinations. Now coupled with these weapons that can be activated without chakra, the lethality will be greatly increased. But he also knew that these arms were the guarantee for the survival of the Revolutionary Army. If these things escape, the advantage of the Revolutionary Army will be greatly reduced. That's why I feel a little hesitant when I say it. But Yahiko didn't seem to care at all and said, I can sell arms, as long as you have money. Hanzo was greatly shocked. Before I could thank you, I heard Yahiko continue. I will not only sell these arms to you, I will also sell them to Konoha, and in the future I will sell them to Sand Shinobi and Rock Shinobi. Don't worry, I am a child, no matter who buys it, my price will be the same. Hanzo was immediately confused and said quickly, how can you sell arms to other countries? You must know that this is a crime. If you do this, many ninjas will die because of you. Yahiko snorted coldly, looked directly at Hanzo and said, Humph, are you a ninja who protects the daimyo? Then just die more. Only in this way can we end the corrupt rule of the daimyo faster and shorten the time for civilians to escape from the darkness. Hanzo recalls the slogans he saw along the way. It turns out that these are not lies, the Revolutionary Army has been doing it. He was very angry at this time. I really want to kill this terrible person like Wildfire right here. But finally gave up and said coldly, please Mr. Wildfire sell me some arms. No problem. Yahiko seemed unfazed by his previous murderous intent and continued, a pistol costs 3,000 taels, and bullets are 1 or 20 rounds cheaper. As for the grenades, I will give them to you at the wholesale price, 600 taels each. 30 in a box, I will give you 15,000 taels. Don't bargain, otherwise we won't sell. By the way, in order to let you better understand the product, we will have specialized personnel to conduct training. This is free of charge, it's considered a benefit. Hanzo will be furious after hearing this. He has heard of that pistol, which can be used to shoot anywhere within a distance of 50 meters, but the price is too expensive. According to the price of 300 taels for one detonating talisman, can this thing withstand the power of 10 detonating talismans? Also, this thing is just a piece of scrap metal without bullets. Bullets also cost money. It sounds like 1 or 2 rounds are rarely used, but according to my subordinates, it only takes a few seconds to finish a magazine. This is simply a money grab. There are also grenades. This weapon that can be detonated without chakra, is actually twice as expensive as the detonating charm. Although there are 100 pieces of broken shrapnel inside, the price is really expensive. And these are all consumables, they are gone after use and cannot be reused. At this moment, Hanzo really wanted to grab a batch of arms and take them back, but he didn't want to buy them. Yahiko looked at Hanzo's ugly expression, raised his lips and said, Master Demigod, you can't give up the life of the genin for a little money. Besides, these weapons can greatly reduce the problem of being unable to conduct large-scale killing operations when the chakra is exhausted. As long as we have them, I can guarantee that Rain Shinobi's combat effectiveness will be greatly improved. How many guns and ammunition do you want now? Let's get 1,000 pistols, 100,000 rounds of bullets, and tens of thousands of hand grenades. No need to forget it, I've done it for you. While speaking, Wildfire actually took out a list from his arms. I saw the details written on it, 100 pistols, 3 million taels, 100,000 rounds of bullets, 1 square tail. 100 million grenades, 333 boxes of grenades, totaling 9,990 rounds, priced at 4,995,000 taels, and finally 10 rounds are given for free. The details of nearly 8 million taels of arms made Hanzo stunned. Don't talk about B-level, C-level, and D-level mission rewards, because these are not on the table. Just talking about ninja A-level ninjutsu, protecting important people, defeating ninja troops, etc., the rewards for this type are around 150,000 to 1 million. S-level tasks involve national-level tasks, such as requesting to join the war, assassinating important people, obtaining top-secret documents, etc. The remuneration for confidential tasks in these countries is generally over 1 million taels. Although it looks like a lot, the difficulty of this S-level mission cannot be completed by one Jonin. It requires several Jonin or Kage-level ninjas to lead a team to complete it. 1. So this 8 million arms expenditure is equivalent to Rain Shinobi Village releasing 8 S-level missions. Hanzo pointed at the numbers on the list and said angrily for the first time, "Are you robbing money? At this price, I will release S-level missions, not to mention 8, I will release 3, 5, etc. to push the battle to my advantage. 1. If I buy these arms, I will be taken advantage of." Yahiko didn't mind seeing Hanzo's angry behavior, because he thought the Rain country was very poor. But he continued, although issuing S-level missions can influence the situation of small-scale wars, what the Kingdom of Rain has to face now is a national war. For a war of this level, the starting price for S-level missions is 3 million, not 1 million. Besides, those hired ninjas will directly receive their reward and leave after completing the task, and in the end they will lose their lives and wealth. But buying arms is different. These can directly increase the strength of Rain Shinobi. After the battle is over, whatever is left is yours, which is a good deal. After hearing this, Hanzo felt that it made sense, but he still hesitated in his heart. After all, this is a lot of money. Hanzo looked at the list and said solemnly, "Did you know that I wanted to buy arms, so you deliberately tricked me?" In his opinion, there is no such thing as a coincidence. I just said I wanted to buy arms, and you took out the list. But what Wildfire said next made him collapse immediately. I saw Yahiko saying very regretfully, "I'm sorry, this is a quotation of arms to be sold to Konoha. I got the wrong one." P.S. The author thanks everyone for subscribing. At least tens of thousands of words are updated every day because it is guaranteed, so please feel free to subscribe. In addition, the author is asking for data, flowers, evaluation votes, all data, customization, and full ordering.